I'm here. Hello. I'm just setting up more things. Um, Hello. I realized that I have not added the game to OBS. Give me a second. Um, would game capture work? Sometimes it doesn't. Does it work? Let's see now. Well, it doesn't seem. I will greet you in a moment, guys. Give me just a second to figure that out. Ah, why is this one? Hello, Ella. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Let me go into the studio mode. It's going good, Ella. I'm just setting up the stream because I'm stupid and I didn't do that before. Oh my god. Why is game not being captured? We're going to play a game, Ella. Damn it, can I capture it? Game, can you cooperate with being captured? I cannot. It's in the title, Ella. It's Raging Loop, visual novel, horror visual novel, mystery visual novel. If I only can get it working to capture. Finally, okay, it works. Okay, something that I don't like, that when I tab out, it just disappears from your screen, but we'll manage with it. Okay, let me greet everyone. Properly. We'll start playing the game, I don't know, in 10 minutes. Ella. Let me just greet everyone and catch up with chat. For now, okay, you can still see the game. Hello Y, hello Articus, hello Painter. I hope everyone, and hello Ella. Hello YouTube chat, hello Twitch chat. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful day. And if not, it will start getting better right now. Good Ella, good. Thank you. Okay, let me see what you guys said. Nothing much. Heads up for me here in the void. It's very hot today, so keep that in mind. Ella, yes, I do have. Just look around for links. Let me brush my hair. I want to wait a little bit more before starting the game than usual because, well, it's a story-based game. I want to give people time to gather, right? My day, it's been slow. I was mainly watching Yakuza playthrough. Let me know if the game music is too loud. I actually think it is loud. So yeah, I just mainly watched Yakuza 5 playthrough because I'm like that. I'm like you guys, I just like watching other people play games. Now I'm tying my hair. Thank you by the way for the fan art in the Discord. That was really, I didn't expect that. That's cool. Okay, hair tied. I appreciate it. So, let's talk about the game a little bit.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Y, for the headbutt. Maybe let's start with my visual novel history. On stream we played only really one, Doki Doki Literature Club, and I liked it, but my favorite kind is actually are actually mystery visual novels. And I wanted to play one on stream, but it's hard to... I hate that I minimize this for me every time I click off. I wanted to play a mystery visual novel on stream, but most of the popular ones I already know, like Danganronpa, Detective Archives, AI Somnium Files, 999, what else? Paranormal Site, as of recently. I know those huge ones, right? And Doki Doki didn't really... It had mystery, but nothing to solve for us, really. So I'm really excited about this one, because it's going to be our first mystery we're going to experience together. So I hope you guys are here for the long haul, because the game is about 30 to 40 hours long, so I anticipate around 10 streams. I'm going to take my time with it. But the thing that will keep us on pace is that this game is fully voice acted, so I'm not going to read out the dialogues as usual, which is a shame because it's fun to do, but also saves my throat and it will be faster than me reading it, so there are pros and cons. Do I like to solve mystery games? I'm not sure if I'm that good at solving them, but I like experiencing them. But yes. And this game is like a werewolf game, mafia game, whatever you know it as, or Among Us, as it is more closely understood in, way better understood in the recent years. At least that's what the game describes itself as. So there's going to be killers and innocent people or something like that. And I've heard very good things about this one, but I saw mixed receptions to the ending. I saw many people saying that it was shit, but it didn't really destroy the whole game for them. And I saw some opinions that they were, I was fine with the ending, so. But we at least have expectations set right, we don't expect a lot from the ending, and because of that, you know, we're not going to be surprised when it's shit. And if it's good, then we're going to be pleasantly surprised. Okay, Panther, you seem to have PTSD pretty often. Okay. I want to wait a little bit more before starting the game, because, well, I said I want people to gather more, those that are interested in the game. Articus, Articus, Articus. Articus the sheep. I don't know what to do about you. Of a ringtone. What does that mean? By the way, so my Doki Doki streams performed pretty well, but I know that this is a very popular game, so like insanely popular. So I cannot expect it to be as Raging Club streams to be as popular as Doki Doki. So I'm a little bit nervous about streaming this game because I don't know how many people are going to watch it. Like first stream will probably perform alright, but each following stream will perform less and less. So that's a worrying part for me. So I don't know if we're going to finish it fully, because there's also a thing in the game where if you're streaming it or sharing or making let's plays, you are supposed to do it only to a certain point in the game by the guidelines of the game. But from what I saw, most people don't follow this advice. I think we would only get bonked if we were in Japan. And I would follow this guideline if I was a bigger streamer, but because I'm so small, I don't think it really matters that much. But if I see that there's not a lot of interest in the streams, I'm going to stop when the game asks me to stop. So we'll see if we go to the end or only to the stopping point. What kind of ringtone makes you feel that way? Why? Let me check some options. Text speed, sure. Auto text, yeah. Display mode windowed. Okay. Now it won't back up for me. Great. I think those volumes are alright. We'll see about the voices later. Okay. Ah, okay, when I understand. When I get the full screen icon, it actually goes in full screen. No, most games don't work that way. Okay. You don't know its name. I mean, that's fine, articles, that's fine. You don't have to be on your every RP session. What do I think about your depiction of yourself? That one. It's pretty good, it's a bit, well, edgy, but you know that. I know you were aiming for that. But I didn't look that closely. We'll talk about it more when I get around to drawing it, but it may take some time, but yes. Okay. How long have I been streaming for? Close to half an hour. So I probably should be starting very soon. I wonder if I had... I feel like I had something more to say. Always feel that way. No, it's not, okay. Speaking of goblins, do you see the beat skull above my head? I had an idea for a game to play as a goal, but I have to ask you guys if you would be interested in that. If you would be willing to pay for that. There's a game, Goblin Lair. It's a parody of a Goblin Slayer, where instead of killing goblins, you go around sleeping with them. Would you like to see me play this game, and more importantly, would you be able to throw a couple of bucks at me to play this game? Depending on the answer, we're going to make it a goal. Racist goblinoids. We don't accept racism of any kind in this religion. In my religion. We have no enemies. Are we clear on that? By the way, guys on YouTube, click that like button. Why are you slacking on that? Cardboard army. What kind of cardboard army? And articles also. I was meaning to ask you. When you have that role-playing sessions, what kind of site do you use that you have timed role-play sessions? And speaking of roleplay, next week I want to do role-playing stream. I'm not sure if it's going to be just me role-playing with you guys, or is it going to be like a choose your own adventure, maybe D&D stream. We'll see about that, but just so you guys keep that in mind. It's going to be a bigger stream. And by the way, next week is my birthday week. So I expect the gifts and offerings. For conquering Poland, ChatGPT, yeah, but are you using a site to do... Like, why do you have those roleplay sessions timed if you are using ChatGPT? You can do it all the time. I didn't understand that. We're going to start the game in a few minutes after we get through those topics. The role-playing will help. I mean, same when I play solo RPGs. I recommend, by the way, playing solo RPGs. I played them on stream in the past, but those streams weren't very popular. But maybe now that you guys are here, maybe we can do it because you guys seem interested in that. Solo role playing is awesome and I recommend doing that. That doesn't answer my question, Articus. I'm waiting with the game just so we don't interrupt it by continuing the discussion. I'm off topic. I'm saddened with Twitch performance of my streams recently. I don't know what happened, what changed. But my Twitch chat is a lot more quieter. And it saddens me. I can understand if it didn't grow at all, but why is it going down? Okay. I think... Oh. If I run out of messages, I can't use the superior version, and so I'm the lesser version of chat before. Okay, I think I don't understand how it works exactly. Okay, let's start the game. Pay attention, guys. I know what. Let's just start. So introduction, there was just tutorial. Yeah, Twitch chat go went quiet when you guys started talking. Okay, no, fuck. I didn't want that. Let's just start. Starting point. Okay, let's start. We're starting, guys. I hope I won't be too big, but let's see. Okay, let's see if that works. I close in on the side of the road and kill the engine. God damn it. Okay. Never mind. That's just... I'm saying god damn it because I have some trouble on my end with how the window of the game works. Never mind. Hard to explain. Let's go. It was steeper than I thought. My back was on the verge of giving out, so I pushed down and deployed the kickstand. Well, I'm lost. Maybe taking a ride down an unknown road with no sat-nav on me wasn't such a good idea. I just followed the roads, and so I'd figured I wouldn't get lost, but now I was in some deep shit. No, cool it. This isn't a big deal. took note out of my I took note out of the fact that I'd gotten lost in my pocket journal and then pulled out a map. Suddenly a rush of memories fitted into my mind. We don't have a lot of keys. There was a concept of keys in the tutorial. I don't remember how it works exactly, but we don't have to right now, I think. That's just for another routes. Somehow I kept myself from remembering those things. After all, I'd gone on this trip to forget.
ああ、も
Ah, more. I have to move chat. Perhaps here will be good.
やめやめ。目の前の現実を直視。人生はシンプル。つまりこの道のごとく、真っ暗で道案内もなく、進むか返すか。考えることはそれだけ。
Wow, that's deep. Haruaki. Fusaishi. Uncommon name. I never heard that those two at all. Not that I remember at least. Going back wasn't an option in this case, so I just moved forward. Still, I wanted to know where I was, at least, so I looked down on my map. It was all Greek to me. Last time I'd seen a sign, it was still a light out, meaning that I'd gotten lost after the sun had set. Sure, it was my own fault for just guessing which intersection I'd been passing through, that I'd taken me 2 hours to conclude I was lost. Crazy to think that just 2 hours of aimless driving got me almost completely surrounded by mountains. They extended as far as the eye could see. If you flipped the scenery upside down and shook it, it's unlikely even a shred of civilization would tumble out. Besides the asphalt below, my sweet ride, and the lamp post above, the first one in a while, mind you, there was nothing man-made here. I like the writing, first impressions, that saying that turn around the mountain and nothing would fall out, no civilization. A really cool sentence. Hello, penguins. Amogus. You don't know what Amogus is, penguins? Ah, no, you were saying that it is good. It's just a title. It's just a meme title. And regardless how good Amogus is, I'm sure this game will be better because it has story. So for me, it's automatically a win. But welcome to the stream. The pocket map I had wasn't detailed enough for me to figure out where I was.
進むか。
I'd go as far as I could. Worst come to worst, I could just camp at the side of the road. By the way, guys, so as you can probably notice at this point, the game is in Japanese, and so I'm not reading out. And if you know what's going on, you have to look at your screen. Unfortunately, you cannot make me second monitor content. Or you just have to keep glancing at the screen to understand the plot. "2 hours later, I deeply regretted ever thinking about that. Basically, camping wasn't an option. This mountain road had no sides to camp on. A dump truck I'd pass barely even fit on it. Others had my first close encounters with wild forest animals. I'd seen 2 bears and 3 deers in those 2 hours alone. None of the deer had run parallel to my back, while intently staring at me, and I had no idea what to think of that. It felt like I could smell my fear, and it did it to just make it worse. How dared they think to do that to a human? We're the kings of this planet, damn it. I'd have to remember to eat some venison once I come back to civilization. That's petty. I covered too much of the text in my humble opinion. Can I move? Should I? Let's see if this would work better. I'm sure it would. Sorry for the constant interruption. I'm trying to figure out the best way for you guys to experience it. For this stream, we're going to go with this overlay. For the next stream, I'm going to adapt that one you just saw. I just have to change some things around to make it work. Then you make that compilation painter. I'm not reading. Why? I'm not reading the dialogue. I'm only reading internal thoughts. Anyway, camping out here was a bad idea. I'd end up as either roadkill or animal food. I'm struggling today with reading. And yet I didn't back out. Why? Because I'm petty, pretty warped sort of guy, and I won't pretend otherwise. That was actually the reason why my once comfortable relationship had gone awry, and why I had gone on this stupid trip. Fuck. I'm just stunned. Thank you so much, why? Thank you. Sorry, I'm still stunned. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. It means a lot. More than you probably know. But thank you. I'm reading some of those names that received the gift subs, and I'm concerned that some of them... never mind. It doesn't matter. I still got the money. Okay. Yeah, you have defeated us. So, sorry, I will express my gratitude in the future. But now, I want to focus on the game, and you secured yourself a McDonald's date and toys for all of you. So, next week. Still, despite acknowledging that, I chose to keep moving forward. Until all my enemies are dead. It wasn't like I'd find a place to stay if I went back. I was actually starting to think that this experience might make a good conversation piece sometimes down the road. It was really getting late at this point. Where would these roads take me anyway? I'd probably be disappointing. Soon enough, the road became flat and was out of the mountain pass. The forest remained abandoned, though, so I still didn't see much. Even so, street lights and signs were enough to make me feel I was again nearing civilization. Was street lights the right expression for lights in a forest? I'd have to look that up. As the road grew less rugged, I realized just how exhausted I was. All this bike handling had left my hands really sore too. I really had to rest. Suddenly, I saw something unexpected. Powerful, colorful, artificial lights. A convenience store. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So to refresh, I saw the word refresh, but to recap the story so far, which only was supposed to take like 5 minutes, but I'm at it for longer because I get distracted about you guys. The guy is lost in the forest. That's all, and driving around on a motorcycle. I was next to an intersection between the road I was on and another, even thinner road that could probably support only a single car. The sea and of trees ended, giving room for the majestic child of our consumerism society. Yeah, that was an exaggeration. Apparently, even a damn store was a big deal for someone who just stepped out of the wild. It was called Fresh Market. I'd seen several of them a few times during the day. It was probably a local franchise. The building didn't look all that old, at least the parking lot looked a lot smoother compared to the roads. This was a pretty weird place to build something like that though. Was I close to a settlement, or did they actually make a profit of lost travelers? I just asked that or something. A local shopkeeper was bound to know what was around these parts, not to mention I was thirsty. Oh my god, the light, it blinded me. I was welcomed by a weird chime sound. It looked like a normal convenience store. There were goods on the shelves, a counter on the left, and... Whoa! The worker at the counter was so mean looking it was scary. Mean looking? Oh my god, I'm covering her up. I call her hot. Okay, now I was switching. I'm realizing it won't work. It won't work when I'm covering everything. Okay, now this is much better. Okay, but wait, do I have the chat here? I have to add chat. Sorry for this arrangement, but it is necessary. I guess I still keep the chat in the same location. I don't know where to put chat on this screen. Let's. Chat is not that active today, so I hope it won't disturb anyone. Okay, let's go. Let's continue the game. No more interruption, I hope. But yeah, that's a cool looking lady. Mm. I'm surprised. I would expect you guys to already be horny over her in chat. Okay. The worker at the counter was so mean-looking, it was scary. She was so imposing, I wouldn't have doubted if someone told me she was in charge of some ladies' army corps. Corp. Oh my god. She sounds like she's disgusted by my presence. That's kinda hot. Okay, no horny anymore. I'm just picking up the slack that chat is giving. Was that supposed to be a greeting? It was so damn cold. It actually gave me chills. Was the store shadier than it appeared? Was I about to be severely overcharged? Was this how this place made a profit by taking advantage of lost people and basically beating them out of their money? Shit, that was scary. Clearly the Wonderland! Black Souls reference. Suddenly just began. Woohoo! I sure was excited for the beating. I grew more nervous and less enthusiastic by the second. I braced myself, but she just looked down at the magazine in her hands. Ah, so she was just a slacker. Slightly disappointed. Our guy, he wanted to be beat up by her. I walked around the store. It was all about what you'd expect. There was a small shelf with energy drinks, followed by some stationaries, travel goods, sanitary stuff, etc., etc. There was sweets that came with toys, a shelf of cup ramen and dried food, a fridge, a freezer. It all looked normal. It was late, so the daily dish and packed lunch section was completely empty. The only special thing about this place was the section full of unpacked vegetables you'd expect to see at the groceries. Maybe all rural convenience stores were like this? I was slightly surprised by that, but there weren't any local fine foods or anything. So all in all, it was an unremarkable store, if you ignore the clerk anyway. I took a drink and brought it to the register. Wow, she's smoking in the store. Yep, she really was the highlight of this place. What kind of clerk smokes while dealing with a customer? Yes, I was actually buying. She was the clerk, and I'd be her god, the customer. Just her tone of voice gives me goosebumps. Ah, her deep voice. She didn't even scan it. The section was at the mercy of the clerk. God is there. Maybe I had to get mad at her.
ちょっといいですか?
Oh my god. This guy looks like a normal dude, kind of, but his voice is so goody-two-shoes. ちょっといいですか? You hate smokers? I don't like smokes. I don't like smoking in general. But I will admit that smoking looks kind of cool, you know, and it can look hot. So I'm conflicted. My inner self is conflicted. Like, it would be annoying to date her, but she looks attractive with the cigarette in her mouth. That's what I would say. She can beat you up, but it's a cinnamon roll. Yeah, strong golden retriever energy.
実は道に迷ってしまって。
A quickly turned Mick.
町はどっちにあるでしょうか？
あっち。
いや、できれば地図とか。
ない。
Yeah, same way. Haha, man, this woman.
いや、そんなはずはないでしょ。コンビニなんて大体道聞かれるから、地図は常備してるもんでしょ。
知らねえよ。ないもんはねえ。おとなしく来た道戻れよ。
もう数時間迷ってるもんで、これ以上はちょっと。
その辺の床で寝てけば。
Oh my god, now she's telling us to sleep on the floor. Perfect woman doesn't exist. I'm sorry. I was wrong. What? She had to be joking.
いや、お気持ちだけでいいんで、道だけちゃんと教えていただけたら。
ああ、もう、せえな。待ってろ。
No, but for real, I love her voice. Mattero! The Claire put out her smoke in the ashtray and went to the staff-only area. She came back in no time.
あったわ。
Oh, look at her eyes, now we can see it. This intimidating look. So she did have a map, of course she did. Even more ill-tempered than usual, the crack started giving an explanation.
これがこの店。で、十字路北へ行け。しばらくしたら立教があっから渡れ。最初の分岐のとこに大岩があっからそこを右折してあとは直線。
この道？
んだよ。
いや、この先何もなくないです？
書かれてねえだけで集落があんだよ。
そこ以外なら？
富士吉村まで行くには峠道を2時間。こっちなら30分で着く。
Fujiyoshi seemed to be a village. It didn't look too far away, but the road leading to it was a huge, branching mess. It was clearly just a paved mountain path. I'd had enough of those for one day. I'd probably just get lost again.
じゃあ、こっち行ってみます。ありがとうございます。
金。
はい？
払ってねえだろ。茶の。
Ah, sorry, I skipped.
じゃあ500円。
Jingle, hustle, jingle.
なぜ、お釣りを無断で募金箱に入れるんですか？
小銭多いとうぜえだろ。
That was hell of a line. I casually thanked her, grabbed the plastic bottle of tea, she didn't give me a borg, by the way, and left the store. I drank the tea in the parking lot and looked up the moon. Obscured by clouds, but still bright enough to outshine the light of the convenience store. The crowd put me in a bad mood, though, so I didn't enjoy the sight. I threw the bottle in a nearby trash can and aggressively drove away. You wanna feel protected, but feel pretty for once. I don't think she would make you feel pretty. I'm not sure even if you would feel protected by her. Following the direction, I crossed the overpass and arrived at the first fork in the road. The byway she'd told me about was really narrow. I probably wouldn't have noticed it were it for tall border, standing there like a roadside shrine for some traveler deity. Turning carefully, I got on the road. A minute later, I found myself in an even worse wilderness than before. A veil of dead leaves covered the ground, tall grass sided the path, and the sky above was blocked by overgrown shrubs, making it feel like I was passing a wooden tunnel. The road itself was a huge red flag. It was wonder why I didn't just turn around. The exchange from before might have pissed me off more than I thought. Still, I really didn't expect the road to just end. It happened about 15 minutes in. The view ahead suddenly turned strangely dark, and a split second later, the bike tipped forward. I reflexively hit the brakes, but it was too late. I started going down a cliff. My bike tilted downwards, and suspension was put into the greatest state yet, as we basically tumbled down to the bottom. The headlights suddenly shone on some dirt and grass. I knew that I'd be flung out of my seat. Stifling a scream, I tried to work some steering and brake magic to slow down without collapsing, but it was too big of a task for a simple road bike. At the bottom of the cliff, it jumped me higher than ever before. The suspension couldn't handle the impact, and I was launched into the air. A moment later, I heard a crash and felt an impact, after which came an unpleasant pain. An incident where I was flung out like that was a first for me. The launch was really something too. I did a 360 in the air and fell on my back. My breathing stopped for a moment, and the pain was so bad I thought all my bones shattered. My face and lips seemed pretty fine at least, though I wasn't sure if that counted as a silver lining. There was a grass under my hands. I felt it even through the gloves. That and the smell of green made it pretty clear what I landed on. I pushed down and my hand sank. The grass growth was pretty hefty. It was probably the reason why I came out relatively okay. Sure, my joints cracked when I stood up, but aside from that, I was fine. It was really dark, so I couldn't really confirm it. But I was pretty sure I wasn't even bleeding. My back, however, wasn't really nearly as lucky. It was lying on its side a short distance ahead. The engine was still on, the back wheel kept on turning, making an unpleasant, fricative noise. Yep, it was busted. I walked up, killed the engine, and took the key. With the headlights off, I was surrounded by absolute darkness, so I just stood there and waited until my eyes adjusted. I still couldn't see very clearly, but it looked like this actually wasn't a cliff. It was still on a road, it just wasn't paved beyond this point. Obviously, a road bike stood no chance against an unpaved road. This one actually tried to kill me. Zigzagging through the trees, I followed the narrow footpath deeper into the forest. I tried getting my bike up and running again, but instantly gave up. It was partially stuck in mud, so there was the risk of slipping and getting me into another accident. Maybe I had to turn around? The moment I considered that, I thought I saw a faint light ahead. That woman wasn't lying, this road led to a settlement. Was I close? I reached into my jacket pocket, took out my phone and opened it up. As you'd expect, I was out of range. I ran the light up and shone a light to see better. Though weak, it was better than nothing, and at the very least, it helped me watch where I was going. You guys are willing, no, not willing. You are guys are lacking commitment, dedication, and balls. You should be attracted to every type of woman, be it even if she's a furry. I'm disappointed with you guys. Not even woman. Men too. Okay. Sorry. Something broke my back. I'm broke as hell too. Okay, let's continue. I had no idea how long I'd been walking for. But sure enough, I could see a light beyond the shrubs. By the way, guys, you're all unhinged here. So if you want a girl, you probably should look among the forests, as they are on average more unhinged than average person, than any other, grabs, so. So you actually should be into for a woman. And they can also financially support you, like you guys figured that out. And they can also protect you, because especially if they have like a wolf persona, they will be very protective of you. For a woman is where it's at, guys. But sure enough, I could see a light beyond the shrubs. It was weaker than expected. A flashlight, perhaps? I could hear water too, might have been near a river.
すいません
I raised my voice.
すいません誰かいませんか
I still cannot with his voice. He sounds like such a good boy. I wonder how fucked up he is. Those horror games, mystery games always have protagonists. Maybe not always, but often their protagonists appear normal until they reveal that they are fucked up. I walked forward. It was late at night where I bumped into someone here. The scare would probably take away a few years of our lives. That was why I figured it was best for us both to let the other know we were here before that happened. However, there was no response. Could they not hear me over the rapids?
すいません
I've shone my light ahead and realized I made it to an opening. Sure enough, there was a river, or a stream rather. I could see slightly more than I had while surrounded by trees. Straining my eyes, I saw a rocky river beach and the shallows. The light I'd seen was on the other side. From what I could tell, it was neither a lantern or a flashlight, and it was close to the ground. I didn't see any people though. None responded to my shouting either. I wasn't excited about it, but I decided to step into the water. The cold water quickly soaked my shoes and socks. I could have taken them off, but I figured that crossing a river barefoot at midnight was a bad idea. But man, was it cold. I put my phone back into my jacket. I needed both my hands free in case I fell. Not stopping or backing down, I walked towards the light. It suddenly became deeper. The water reached my knees now. It was too close for my comfort. Feeling the bottom with my toes and balancing myself, I somehow avoided losing my footing. The flow was fiercer than I expected. If I slipped and fell, I'd probably be washed away. It suddenly hit me. I was doing something really weird, but it was too late to back down. Putting my hands on the boulder and carefully checking what I was stepping on, I gradually made it to the other side. By the way, guys, let me know if my reading is okay, if I am clear enough, if I'm not too fast or too slow, just let me know. Then, with a unpleasant, wet sound in my every step, I walked up to the light. Or maybe too monotone. I could already see it clearly. Yep, it was a flashlight, lying on the ground for some reason. There wasn't much space here. It was narrow riverbank with a cliff right beside it. As you'd expect, I didn't see or sense anyone nearby. What the hell? Though all the flashlight was Not flashlight, that's something completely different. Flashlight was working fine. The strength of the light told me the battery was pretty full. That meant that someone was actually using that night, or rather, until just a few moments ago. It was the most logical conclusion. It obviously wasn't left here yesterday afternoon or evening, and yet the user was nowhere inside and was near a river. Did something bad happen? Did the flashlight owner step into the stream and get swept away? That was the most likely and worst possible scenario. However, the flashlight was left there practically buried in the pebbles. It didn't seem like someone placed it there to light things up. It was the dead of night. There was no way wouldn't notice dropping your flashlight when it was so dark. Right, the fact that a flashlight source was left in a place like this was strange by itself. With that considered, what was going on here? What if someone heard my stupid shouting and decided to lure me in with a light so they could ambush me? Where would they attack from? Above? I heard a voice the moment I looked up. The rock cliff was actually made up of several borders. There was a face peeking from behind one of them.
こんばんは。
ああ、人だ。びっくりした。
Sounds like a waifu. That was my line.
悪いんだけど、それ取ってもらえます？
The voice was feminine. I finally realized what was going on.
落としたってわけですか。
I picked up the flashlight and pointed it at the source of the voice. What was that? Yeah! Did she meow? Right, the moon drip into your head, everyone. Don't be like this. Yeah, accept the moon, accept the mother. Viewers that might be watching it and are new to the stream probably don't know what's going on, but don't worry, we'll figure it out. Calm down. Now you guys are too horny. Let's respect women, okay? We can be, attracted to them, but let's not treat them. Woman! Okay, I have to buy a better chair because I'm sitting in a, what's it called? Like a big chair, like a cushion chair. I don't know what it's called right now. But it's, first of all, it's a bit too low compared to the desk, and my what's it called? I'm forgetting words. I cannot lean back because it's far away. The thing that you lean back on. You know what I mean. So I kinda just sit in an uncomfortable position. Yeah, let's be civilized. We're not cavemen. Yes, it is a woman. Yes, we are attracted to her. Yes, she's probably going to be our waifu. Yes, we're going to get horny at her, but let's try to be civilized about our attractions. I would so love to lean back, right, and just read it. But I cannot, because it's too far away. I have problems. Wait, I'm going to get myself try to see if I get a pillow. It's going to help. Give me a moment. Good painter, I'm happy that you accepted the moon. Okay. Oh, much better. I can lean back actually. Oh, why I didn't do it before. Oh my god, it's so much better when you actually can support your back. I didn't have muscles in my back, so it hurts when I try to support my back. Okay, let's continue. I'm trying to take breaks. I'm trying not to take breaks to talk with you guys during conversations. But between legs, I'm trying to find good stopping point to have a break to talk with you guys. Because at the end of the day, it's a stream. I'm supposed to interact with viewers. If there are any VOD watchers, feel free to skip those parts. Okay, Painter has an episode of communication with the Blue Moon. That's fine. You guys hear his words, his sermon while I'll play the game. High-pitched voice, slender, hands shielding the light. Sure enough, it was a young woman.
眩しいな。
お、失礼。ちなみに、こっちはこういうものですが。
怖いです。下から照らさない。
実は、当方道に迷っており。
だとすると割と究極的に迷ってますよ。
Yeah, thought as much.
ここって人里です。
Let me know if you can hear me alright. I'm a bit more further away from the microphone.
難しい質問だな。
とりあえず助けてもらえないかと。
助ける？
雨露しのげて野生動物がいなければ何でもいいんで。
Standing on a boulder, the young woman made a pensive face.
じゃあうち来ます？
And that was the conclusion she'd arrived at. Her face told me she was 100% serious. Place, my place. By that, she surely meant a house, a settlement.
いいんです。頼んどいてなんですが、遠慮を忘れてすがりたい程度には切羽詰まってるんですが。
え？男として？
As a man.
ええ。いや違う。一個の生命として。数時間迷った挙句、バイクでこけて心身ともに限界ってわけです。
あらら。なら見捨てるのもどうよって感じじゃないです？一個の生命として。
And so I was saved. Oh, the beauty of living being looking out for each other.
じゃあ手いいです？
ん？
Okay, I'm realizing something. We need... their voices are too low compared to the everything else. Ah, it counts as BGM. Let's see. At least that water was... Okay, maybe that water is just so loud. Let's see if we step away.
ここ一人じゃ登れないでしょ。
True, honestly, I didn't even realize I'd have to. Meeting another person filled me with relief, which was followed by a sudden wave of fatigue. It wasn't crippling though. She extended her hand, so I grabbed it with my own left. Her slender fingers were stronger than I expected. The girl's name was Chiemi Serizawa. I asked if she was related to the Shinsengumi guy, but she said that her family just adopted the name at some point in the Meiji period. Shinsengumi is, if I remember correctly, a Yakuza family. A big Yakuza family, very famous. So I'm guessing Serizawa is an important name in that family. She was 21 years old, who went to a college far away from here. This was her hometown, and she was spending her post-exam vacation here. We chatted about stuff like that once she'd let me out of the rocky ravine. There was actually a proper path, so the rock climbing was pretty pointless, but I was too focused on my footing to comment. She told me about herself as soon as we reached solid ground.
ちなみにそちらは？
名前は房石春明。東京で大学院生やってます。
あ、じゃあちょっと年上。
24だから、芹沢さんと3つ違いかな。でもまあ、同世代でしょ。
ちえみでいいですよ。敬語とかもいらないです。
じゃあ僕も、呼び捨てタメ口がいいな。
ですか？
女の子に親しくされてるみたいで嬉しいからね。
なるほど。実は私も堅苦しいの苦手なんで、じゃあ遠慮なく。
どうぞどうぞ。ちなみにまだ結構遠い？
そうでもないかな。もう5分くらい頑張りましょい。
But a lively girl, you could tell she was used to people.
ただ足元に気をつけて。明かりだけ見て。
何かあるの？
この辺石ころだらけで危ないんだ。
The moment she said that, I stumbled on a rock too big to be called a pebble.
あと今夜はずいぶん暗いしね。
Don't you say? I couldn't even see the moon anymore. We cannot see the moon! Emergency. Guys, emergency. The moon is not speaking to us anymore. Nodding in agreement, I focused on following the light in her hand.
ちょっと待っててもらえます？着替えちゃうんで。
And so I did just that. Given it was a mountain settlement, I expected some old wooden house, but she actually lived in an apartment block. It was too dark to get a good look at it. All I could see were the cheap-looking walls, like you'd expect from some old boarding house for students. Also, she lived on the second floor, in room 202. I'd heard some raindrops as we were climbing to the rusty stairs, but now it was really pouring. Between that, the darkness and the large tree next to the building, it was nearly impossible to see what was going on outside. It felt like I was all alone in a world of nothing but the walls, the door, and the fluorescent lamp above my head. It made me feel somewhat helpless. I distracted myself from by imagining her changing. Okay, this guy is a lost cause. He's just a horn dog like all of you in chat. Eventually, the door opened up.
お待たせ。上がって。
As Maya, she showed herself now wearing sports clothes. This was kinda exciting.
なんにもないでしょ。
何にもないね。
でも冷蔵庫の中は、ほら、
素晴らしい。
飲みますか。
やったぜ。
Oh no. Drunk Onesan. I mean, she's not Onesan to the character in the game, but she has just that energy right now. Of a drunk Onesan. Yeah, her place really was empty. It was just a small room with a low table in the middle, a fridge near the door, and a large duffel bag deeper in. There were two old-looking bookshelves too, but they were completely empty. I wasn't bothered one bit though. Any girl's room was a wonderland to me. Wonderland! She's our Alice, guys, I think.
じゃあ、大変だった春明さんに、お疲れ様。
地獄で出会った仏様に乾杯。
We opened our cans, knocked them together, and downed them. Hey, it was actually good. The pleasant bitterness and the refreshing carbonation made for a good combo.
おいしい。このためだけに生きてる。
She did the thing, she did the PAH after drinking the beer. My favorite gender. Anime girls going PAH after drinking.
その若さでそれはないでしょう。
言い過ぎた。愛や将来にもまだ絶望してません。
ところが就活という影が迫る。
いややめて。せっかくのビールがまずくなる。
She laughed and took a huge sip. It was pretty clear she could hold her drink. That aside, something really bothered me.
お誘いに乗っておいてなんだけど。
何？
Her cheeks were already red. Maybe she didn't handle her liquor as well as I thought. She had a well-featured face, and I didn't think it was wrong to consider her beautiful. Sure, her clothes weren't the least bit sexy, but I could tell she had some makeup on.
僕は完全に正体不明の自称迷い人だよね。
そうね。
君は年頃の女性。今は深夜。ワンルームの密室で男と二人っきり。その上アルコールまで入ってしまった。
おお。
身の危険を感じたりとかは？
She kept gulping the drink even as she formulated a response. The very fact that I could just watch her do that made this a pretty risky situation, and yet...
あんまりないかな。
それは。
芹沢千恵美クイズ。
イエーイ。
問題。ふと気づいたら低層が瀬戸際。にもかかわらず芹沢千恵美は特に身の危険を感じない。なぜでしょう？
Because you're not a virgin. That's a trick question. What a fun girl, that only made me like her more, increasing the danger even further. What are you about to do, my guy? Calm down. Am I allowed to ask questions?
どうぞ。
What did I read that?
僕のことがいい人っぽいという答えはなしでいいかな。
悪い人に見えるってわけじゃないけど、 まあなしかな。女の子慣れしてそうだし。
That unintentional compliment showed that she actually did see me as a potential danger.
考えられる回答は大きく2つ。想定外だが何が起きても問題ない。もしくは想定通り。
ふむ。
前者はいろいろ考えられるかな。例えばちえみちゃんが何かやけっぱちになっていてどうにでもなれって場合、あるいは十分な自衛手段がある、実は護身術の達人で僕なんか軽く乗せるとかね。
おー、論理的。春明さん理系だね。
まあそうかな。一方で後者、つまりこの状況が君の想定通り。
About the question, or rather, he didn't elaborate. Yeah, something like that. Now I'm curious. What his job?
例えば、私がエロエロですとか。
Oh, guys, look at that look on her face down below. That's a face of someone that's a kind of face that just can destroy armies. Wow, talk about not mimicking words.
酔っ払ってきたな。さて、他には何があるでしょう。
Indeed, what other reason could a woman have to bring a stranger to her home? It would surely be something non-standard like...
僕の存在が君の利益になる例。
Yeah, she wants us. It seems like. I like how you guys in the chat have a whole thing about worshipping the moon. I appreciate it.
例えばアリバイ工作。君がここにいたと後日僕が証言することで君が有利になる。
おー、ちゃっかり利用するわけだ。
あるいはちえみちゃんが恐るべき殺人鬼で僕を酔っ払わせてぶっ殺す。
はあ、ヤマンバ。いいね。ブッシュブッシュ殺しちゃう。
I'll kill you real good. Thank you. That's reassuring question mark. What kind of sound effect was that?
ちなみに前提で出た2つのケースの他に1つあるよ。
あれ抜けてた？
うん。私がとってもいい人で春明さんを助けてあげたい一心だっていうケース。
Was it time for me to be ashamed of my filthy mind?
いやでもそれで自分が襲われるかもって考えたら。
おー、襲うって言っちゃったよこの人。
一般論ね。
Yeah, I know your mind already. Haruaki, I can read you like a book. You thought that. You are tempted every minute you're spending in that room. She stopped talking and turned red. It was so cute, I thought she'd actually doing it on purpose. Man, was she drunk. And we were just on our second cans.
じゃあこういうのは止めないともっとひどいことになる。それはさすがに忍びないなとか。
ごめん、もうちょっと詳しく。
この辺りには怖い野生動物が出ます。明日にはこの人はズタズタに引き裂かれてしまうかもしれません。このまま見捨てたらとても寝覚めの悪い思いをするかもしれません。それならまあ止めてあげようかしら。
By the way, I like the art style here. It's nothing amazing, but I don't know, it has a special touch to it, like, I don't know, recognizable, the best way to put it.
なるほど。 リスクと善意を天秤にかけるってわけか。これは想定外。
想定外か。この人だいぶ悪い人なんじゃないかって気がしてきたな。
そう？
だって善意を選択肢に入れる前に殺人鬼とかアリバイとかエロエロとかさ。
That's true.
エロエロは君が言い出したんでしょうが。
そうだったっけ？で、答えは？
これって単なるバカ話じゃないの？
正解者には素敵なプレゼント。不正解者はブッシュブッシュ殺します。
I feel like she's not lying. Seriously. You're desperate, you need an alibi, you're a thirsty perf, you'd feel guilty if you let me die. That's my... Oh, we need 20 keys to probably unlock the real answer. Or the answer that will lead us to another path. That's interesting. I'm going with that.
ピンポーン、正解です。
Oh, cool.
まあ実際この辺危ないしね。鹿にイノシシに野犬にクマ。
鹿とイノシシは実際見たけど、クマもいるの？
ツキノワだけどね。あんまり多くはないけど、昔襲われた人もいたし、ちょっと外は危ない。
Guys, moonbirds. Are you paying attention to the story? There are moonbirds here.
なんてワイルドな。
でも本当にヤバい動物は他にいるけどね。
なんだろう。クマよりヤバい動物？
ヘビ、サル、カラス、クモ。
Were they venomous or something? I really doubted that. Those really didn't seem worse than bears.
あと、オオカミ。
Okami.
日本には狼はいないでしょ
Yeah, there aren't any wolves in Japan anymore, unfortunately.
いるかもよ、こんな田舎には。
She smiled and drank out of the third can.
まあ理由がどうあれ、まんまと美女宅に侵入を果たした春明さんは自分が狼になっちゃうのかな。
Do you want me to?
やめとく。
紳士、もう一本あげちゃ。
I wasn't too sure, but I felt like she'd dodged the subject. Perhaps I wasn't being cautious enough. But then again, I'd been wandering aimlessly for a long time by now. I had enough recklessness in me to enjoy sharing a drink with a cute, if shady girl. No. 5/12. Monday. Okay. Need to keep them fish and biscuits. What? Who? The moonbirds? Among animals. Ah, okay. Yeah, you're right. So, are you guys paying attention to the story? Should I recap what's going on? Oh, you pay attention, then recap it for me, please. I'm doing a teacher. I'm playing a teacher right now. Please recap the story so far. While you do that, I'm going to get some water. Hello, Ella. I'm going go get some water. Give me a second. I'm back. We are seeing ladies and dudes and go places. Okay. I will be noting it down. Painter minus not paying attention in class. I got lost into. I'm from another world, Ella. For simplicity's sake, let's say I'm from Poland. Oh, by the way, I just realized my Twitch chat still is at the bottom. Or rather in two places at once. I have to fix that. Okay, it's fixed. We got lost in a convenience store. The woman literally made us drive off a cliff, walked around, saw this lady that offered her home for us to stay with her. Okay, plus for you. Oh, why? Okay, Ella. Just heads up, Ella. If you're trying to sell me something, I don't have money. Yes, Ella, but do you have a reason to contact me? Like, let's not waste each other's time. If you're here only to sell me something, I don't have money and I won't hire you. If you're a legitimate viewer, I'm glad you're here. Hmm. We'll see about that, Ella. Okay, let's continue the story. The last thing I remember was our little. When I was the last time you pissed yourself while sleeping talk. I had to tell her about the time I got so drunk I wet my pants in the middle of a boarding house. She laughed so hard she started frothing at the mouth and passed out. I woke up with a splitting headache. Oh man, morning already? Light poured through the frosted window. I pulled out my phone and checked the time. 7 in the morning. Wow, early rise. I'd gone to sleep somewhere between 2 and 3, which probably wasn't quite enough sleep. At least I didn't wake up to some horror movie scene. The building wasn't in the ruins, and the girl wasn't actually a skeleton. Though, in a way, this might have been worse. By the way, I'm anticipating that there will be actually werewolves here. Because of the mention of the wolves. And cover art of the game as well. But maybe they will play with our expectations. Though, in a way, this might have been worse. She was spread out on the floor on the other side of the mini table. Her breathing was mixed with some weird gurgling sounds. I hesitantly looked at her. The saint that saved me from the hell I was was in last night had puked in the middle of her sleep. What I was supposed to do here, as I guess I couldn't really be too harsh on her.
Phew.
She wasn't waking up. Well, I just do that what little I could. There should be good enough. I'd used tons of toilet paper to clean up her mess and flush it down the toilet. It left a stain on the floor, but it was dirty to begin with, so whatever. I'd even wet a towel and cleaned her face, even though she showed no signs of waking up. Some of it was on her hair and clothes, but I figured it was best if she took care of that herself.
ちえみちゃん。
朝
Surprisingly, there's a lot more to read than I anticipated. For me. The first hint of consciousness so far
ちょっ
today.
と出ておくから。
Without waiting for a response, I hacked to the entrance. Should have to take a shower and change all that, so I'd kill time out outside. I stepped into my still damp shoes with my bare feet. My socks were in the washing machine with the towel she gave me to wipe my legs, and reached for the doorknob. I opened the door and was greeted by a gust of wind. The raindrops gathered on the leaves of the tree next to the building flew right into my face, making me grimace. The rain from last night was already over. The sky was pretty clear, but despite that, I noticed the visibility of my surroundings was poor. The building was surrounded by leaves. The old structure was basically buried in a forest of trees about as tall as itself. There were branches poking into the exposing hallway. It almost felt like they'd reach out and grab me if I wasn't careful. I kinda felt like I was in an underground ruin. I turned around and saw the moon room and Chiemi just as I left him. Yep, it was all real. I closed the door. There were other rooms in this building, which made me wonder if they were occupied. Hell, I wondered the same thing about the area in general. I pushed the branches aside to see if there were other buildings nearby. Suddenly something entered my vision. It didn't feel right. Something that shouldn't have been there. The leaves moved, revealed a woman, clad in various clothing. The moment I recognized her as such, she opened her closed eyes. Did our eyes meet? Under a strong wind, I shielded my face from the spray of raindrops. When I looked outside again, the woman was nowhere inside. Was that an illusion? If not, then what? What kind of place was this? It could have been a real Hicksville, a marginal village, a bunch of actual ruins, or an illegal settlement. I had some theories, but I set them aside for now. It seemed like a place worth exploring regardless. I went down the stairs and found no signs of the woman, or anyone else for that matter. She looked like a vampire? A little bit, yeah. A short distance away from the building, I turned around and sure enough, it was pretty much covered in terrace. I went to the place where I saw the woman. There were footprints in the grass here. Maybe I'd find her if I follow them. They led me to an open area. It was in use, but it looked like someone was trying to do something with it. Was it supposed to be a construction site? Even if it was already clearly abandoned. There were large rocks and lots of sediment near our prefab. From what I could tell, there had been a giant landslide, which forced them to stop construction. The fact that plant growth was still minimal meant that it happened fairly recently. The footprints seemed to be going down the hill next to the site. Following them, I finally saw something that could be called civilization. There was a set of paddy fields with houses nearby. So this was actually a settlement. What a relief. I decided to keep following the footprints and approach the settlement. My fart again. I came across another unpaved path that was clearly used by people and cars. It was lined with weeds and bushes reaching up to my waist. It was home to caterpillars and grasshoppers, among other things. Spiders were no exception. There was no shortage of insects there, so it was a good place for a net. I wasn't particularly scared of spiders, but I didn't like them either. At least they were just harmless or weavers. Regardless, I avoided these bushes just in case and followed the path like the good city boy I was. There was a large boulder surrounded by grass. It was strangely tall, making it look like it was put there by people. Oh, on its dewy surface there was a great tree for log. ready to go after the many insects scattered about. Minecraft house, yeah, first night hat. I log. I skipped. I walked a bit further and I came across a house with a small field nearby. The field's location made it safe to assume that it belonged to the inhabitants. If there were inhabitants anyway, I couldn't see anyone, and just like always, there was grass everywhere. There was another boulder standing next to the house. This one was obviously placed there by human hand. What was the point? Was it a monument or something? The footprints continued into the field. Oh man, a lot of reading. I have to take a breath. I thought I would take a break from my reading if it is voiced, but there's a lot of narration I didn't expect. The wet mud on the field was full of small, young but healthy-looking rice plants. If you ignore the standing boulders in the area, the place looked like a normal farming village. I was both relieved and worried at the same time. From what I saw, there weren't any other buildings besides the ones in this settlement. Everything beyond was just mountains, meaning that this place was completely isolated. And I was a complete outsider. It sounds bad, but actually that's kind of a dream traveling experience for me. You know, just getting lost and finding a small hidden village in the mountains, being hosted by a local there. That sounds awesome. Of course, this is going to turn badly when people start dying, but without that just sounds magical. Minecraft village, that Steve village, and boulders are just cobblestone markers. No, the boulders are cobblestone towers that you build to kill iron golems easier. There was no way things would go well if I ran into a random local. A belated cry reached to hide myself a bit. It was probably best for me to go back. Shiemi might have been looking for me. Suddenly, I heard a sound. I looked for its source and found a speaker on a wooden utility pole in the middle of a small plaza. A morning broadcast. I never heard this tune before. It was cheerful at first, but had some parts that seemed really dark. I found it unsettling. Perplexed, I stopped walking, and what happened next made me hide myself. There was a person in the area, densely surrounded by houses. But they weren't normal. What was with this appearance? What was that on her face? Though I was a fair distance away, I could see an old woman with some sort of cloth covered her face shakily walk out from between the buildings. Oddly enough, there were boulders even there. But even weirder was the fact that she walked to one of them, lightly joined her hands and bowed her head before it, her face still hidden. Then all was silence. It actually looked like she was revering it. To me, it looked like she was praying to it. This was bad, really bad. He found the cult of the Blue Moon. I'd wandered into a settlement with a unique culture, to put it lightly. Forget causing trouble, an outsider like me could get killed here. But this guy immediately goes straight to the worst possible scenarios, which means he's fucked up as well. If person goes immediately to those scenarios, they probably fucked up in some way. Instead of saying, "Oh, cool, unique culture in this village with unique religion practices, unique traditions." No, he's like, "Oh my god, they are going to kill me. This is a cult." Hello, Amy. How are you doing today? So, to recap the story for you, our protagonist got lost in the woods and found a village, uh, a weird village, isolated village, and that's pretty much it for now. I'm skipping a lot of details. Forget causing trouble. I read that already. I dashed up the hill, past the house, through the construction site, until I arrived back at the apartment building. Shiemi looked like a relatively reasonable person. Maybe she could tell me what was up. Just hit me that the way she described this place was somewhat weird. She basically said it wasn't normal.
あるいは、ちえみちゃんが恐るべき殺人鬼で、僕を酔っ払わせてぶっ殺す。
はあ、ヤマンバ。いいね。ブッシュブッシュ殺しちゃう。
Splosh, splosh. How did you broke your leg? Are you fine? No way. What if she was actually the bite they used to lure outsiders here? Eventually, the broadcasting stopped. Shami still hadn't come out of her room. She didn't respond even when I knocked or called her out to her. I didn't have to worry about this, right? That just made my inexplicable unease grow worse. What if this was a trap? What if I was in a dangerous situation? I think. Was I in a dangerous situation? I had to talk to her. If she was a normal person anyway. Maybe my spay option was to run away right now? I didn't know where to run. I couldn't remember the fire we'd taken here. Though I was pretty sure we went uphill, so maybe I had to go down. If I avoided the settlement, I went back to the mountain stream. I could escape by following the wild roads. It was my best option, even with the difficulties considered. Thankfully, I taken my bag with me. I took out 500 yen note and put it in Jamie's newspaper box. It was payment for last night's bill. The moment I turned around to take my leave, the door to the room next to the staircase opened slightly with a click. I saw one eye glaring out me through the gap. This guy is paranoid. Okay. You seem to be fine, Amy. Good to hear. Her high-pitched scream pierced my eardrums. Scream too, scared shitless. I ran for it. Suddenly, I stepped onto the wet hallway floor at a banged angle. I fell.
はるちゃん、どうした？
ああ、誰このおっちゃん。
あなた、誰ですか？っていうか、大丈夫ですか？
A reasonable sounding voice prompted me to shake off the pain and raise my head. There were two boys in formal-looking school uniforms.
大丈夫ですか？
Why are you so nice? That's just common courtesy. Repeated the question.
ああ、ちょっと驚いただけで。
おっちゃん、ちえねえの友達？
Chiena?
ああ、ちえみちゃんのことか。大学のお知り合いですか？お知り合いが来るなんて聞いてなかった。
Okay, I didn't even know you, Amy, you upload videos. What kind of video?
いや、いろいろあって助けられたんだ。怪しいものじゃないんだ。怪しく見えるだろうけど。
怪しいなおっちゃん。
どうすればいいのかな。とりあえず、名前は久石春明と言います。
僕は織部安永です。こっちは鴨志田近持。
モッチーだ。
Mochi. Good to know. If I called him that, maybe he'd stop calling me old man. I was only 24.
それでこっちが。春ちゃん何してんの？
だって知らない人が。
Apparently, this Haru-chan was the person who'd look at me through the gap in the door and screamed.
とりあえず大丈夫そうだから出ておいでよ。
A moment later, she slammed the door shut and after a few moments of hesitation, opened it again. Whoa. She looked like a student too, except her fashion sense was exceptionally flashy.
あなた誰ですか？
久石春明と言って、この近くでバイクで事故って、芹沢千恵美さんに助けられたんだ。
それってもしかして昨日の夜知恵姉の部屋に。
Yeah, we made the babies. We didn't have sex, but you know, we just sleeping in the same room is how you create babies. She seems like a naive type that would believe that.
うん。
At least when she was younger.
通りで騒がしかったと思った。何考えてるの？嫁入り前の女性の家に不潔。
ああ、うん。それはその通りで、僕もちょっと躊躇はしたんだけど、千恵美ちゃんが親切で。
Calm down, we're adults. We can handle it.
ちえみちゃん？慣れ慣れしい。それじゃあもしかしてちえ姉が出てこないのって。
Yes, I killed her. I murdered her.
ドアに5000円挟んであるじゃん。
久石さんまさか。
違う。単に昨日お酒をおごられたから、そのお返しで。
ちえ姉の体が5000円ってそんな安いわけないでしょ。
Jesus, calm down, people. I'm just trying to be nice.
ただれてるな。
Hell, where this kid's going? The kid's saying.
ああ、君、助けてくれないか？
初対面で女性の部屋でお酒を飲んだんですか？そして知恵姉は出てこない。
Crap, I had no allies here.
一体何事？
And so, the subject of the conversation joined in.
おお、千恵美ちゃん、君からも事情を説明。
Something was off about her aura. What happened to the lively girl she'd been yesterday?
知恵姉まさか。
恥ずかしいとこを見られちゃった。
おお。いや、ちょっと待って、ちょっと。
もう嫁いけない。
Why? No. She's evil. She's blaming us. Man, what a mess. Though Chiemi's face was all pale, she was actually grinning. She obviously had a bad hangover, but that didn't stop her from messing around. After calming everyone down, Chiemi explained what actually happened. Thank God. She's not that evil. How we met in the middle of the night. How she let me stay out of the goodwill. How we drank ourselves silly and how nothing happened between us.
いやー、久々に深酒しちゃって思いっきり入っちゃったよ。春明さん、お見苦しいとこ申し訳ない。
ああ、いや、それはいいんだけど。
Why don't you like those NPCs? You just have to get to know them. You know, that's how people are. You usually don't like most people when you first meet them. That's the secret, you know, guys. That's... Let me go on a rant. people are very judgmental of the first encounters they have with people, because we always told first impressions matter, and while that's true, we cannot let first impression define us, because most of the time you're not prepared for a first impression. Let's say, I don't know, you're in a bar and you're not ready to, you're not thinking about impression you're giving off to people, or I don't know, a friend introduces you to another friend and you're just like, oh, okay, hello. Like, most people don't have like prepared in their head how to act during first meeting with people. They just act normally, and sometimes it might not look good without context, especially if your type of humor looks bad out of context. If I for example joke, I have inside jokes with my friends, they would probably look awful to outside parties. So I just saying that, most people have shit first impressions and are giving shit first impressions. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm just stream of consciousness. So while you should try to give good first impression, you should give benefit of the doubt to other people. That Haru-chan girl looked at me funny.
非常識。
ああ、うん。申し訳ない。昨日は本当に疲労困憊でね。つい好意に甘えてしまったんだ。
まあ知恵ねえだしな。雑把だよな。
Capitalism.
事情も事情だし、年寄りたちも納得するかな。ちなみに会ったのってどこです？
それはね。
下の方の河原だよ。
Our words made everyone change their expressions.
それはちょっと。
Don't speak without thinking.
大騒ぎだ。2日連続で2人もだなんて。
もしかしてまずいこと言った？
はあ、まあいずれバレることよ。さっきあれだけ大騒ぎしちゃったから休みず中に知れちゃったろうし。
君、2日連続で2人もって何のこと？
触らないで、汚い。
Wasn't trying to touch her and I wasn't filthy. Sure, I had a bath in over a day, but still.
君、何が騒ぎになるの？
タエバあたりが拒否ってなる。
What? Well, that sure sounded bad.
詳しい話を聞かせてくれない？
ちょっと説明は難しいんですけど、まあここは田舎なんで町といろいろ違うってことですよ。
This guy here was Oribe-kun. Ignored Chiemi, and he was the easiest person to talk to.
どうすればいいかな？
まあちえみがなんとかしましょう。学生諸君はとりあえずご飯行かないと。
この混乱には乗るっきゃない。
乗るっきゃなくないもっち。とりあえず行っちゃいな。
まあちょっと時間ずらした方がいいよね。揉めそうだし。
さすがやすくん、察しがいいぞ。ごめんけど2人のおもりよろしくね。
うん。
もう知恵ね、子供扱いはやめてよ。そうだ、うんこしてやるぞ。
Poop on you? What? What the fuck? You're not that young. How? He's threatening people to poop on them. What the fuck?
ほらほら行くぞ、モッチーにハルちゃん。
And so the students walked off towards the stairs. It was kinda easy to tell what sort of relationship they had. Anyway.
彼らがこの建物の他の住人？
Oh, that's good to hear, Painter. I'm going to look that up after the stream.
そういうこと。学生寮だからね、ここ。
A student dorm. In this Higville? Still, my senses had betrayed me. There actually were other people here.
ちなみに春明さん、他の人と出会ってトラブったりしてないよね。
うん。一応それ警戒してたから。
ならよかった。よし、ちょっとしたら食堂に行きましょう。
あ、朝食？
I mean, I can live if that causes problems. We should leave probably already. We're on our way out.
の朝食は今から食べてください。食堂へは一応面通しをしに行くの。
誰と？
よそ者が皿長からやってきたってことに文句を言いそうな人たち。
From Saranaga? Oh, so like that Toeba person, huh?
お世話になります。
いいってことです。その代わり朝のことは秘密で。
そりゃもちろん。ところで、皿長って何？
そう、皿長の瀬っていう川だけど、あの辺まとめて皿長って呼ぶの。ちょっと曰くのある場所でね。
Cultural significance, alright.
いわく。
うん。あの川は汚れていて死人が帰ってくるみたいな
Where
伝
the
説。
dead return from other side. So we have mention of wolves, possibly werewolves, undead. That's a lot going on here. Oh. So that's why they reacted like that.
他にもその手のルールというか、しきたりみたいなのが？
たくさんあります。なので基本ちえみちゃんにお任せを。
Gladly on all fronts.
ちなみに、身の危険とかは？
ないない。でもいろいろ不愉快な思いをする前に早く出て行けた方がいいかも。
Am I in danger? No, no, no! But you should escape as soon as possible. Yeah, that's reassuring.
そのための根回しに行くと。
そうそう。
The settlement I strayed to was a weird place, but at least the guide was reliable. And she wanted me to leave ASAP, huh? That was depressing. Oh, he fallen for her. Jamie gave me some cup ramen for breakfast. She boiled the water in a small electric kettle. The girl herself was too hungover to eat anything. I did take the opportunity to pay her back for last night's drink in person though. Then we made our way to the dining hall.
この岩って何なの？
一応お守りみたいなもの。昔からあるよ。
よそでは見たことないよ。
ああ、言われたらそうかも。
She led me along a narrow path that I followed earlier. It didn't sound like any cars used this one. It was very, farmy, I guess? This area was also littered with those boulders. Some were cracked, broken, or half buried in the fields. There were clearly religious symbols, but it didn't look like they were that important these days, or were they? Ah, bro, I missed the stream because I was busy doing stuff from the your art channel. Can I have a quick catch up or what are we playing here? Okay, welcome, guy. Welcome. Good to see you. And welcome. I'm glad that you joined us here today. So, we play as... I forgot his name. You'll see it in a moment. Our protagonist got lost in woods, in mountains, just riding his bike for hours and hours. But he finally managed to find a convenience store. In that store there was a clerk, a very delinquent acting woman that, after some convincing, directed us to the nearby village. But she failed to mention that the road just ends. So while we were riding our motorcycle there, we just like destroyed, like what's it called? Fallen off our bike into the bushes. Our bike is right now not usable, but we're fine. While walking in the dark by the river, we found a flashlight and a girl that flashbang belonged to. Hello, Ego. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. And that girl is our guide. She led us to the village. She let us stay in her apartment. We drank with her, had a mini party. And now in the morning we looked around the village. We saw it's a pretty very isolated village with stones around, weird stones that now we're learning about. We saw an old woman with face covered praying to one of those stones. And then when we were going back to the apartment where the girl that helped us was, three students just met us and they make a big deal out of us being here. And you know, there were assumptions that we did something to the Chiemi that is our guide, but we didn't do anything. But after that was cleared up, you know, there is a problem, you know, outsiders in town, so we're going to clear that up with the village. So that's what happened, more or less. But now I stopped recapping. Hello Ego, welcome to the stream, I hope you're doing fine. And yeah, let's continue the story. You're welcome guys to chat with me, by the way. I'm going to focus on the reading, but periodically I'm going to look at chat. Let me just look at a few things. Okay, let's continue. Now that I knew I was safe, I once again became curious about this place.
人だ。
He was working on the field.
たくみ姉ちゃんだ。おはよ
Jamie waved her hand, the man responded, but then froze mid-wave.
う。じゃあ行きましょう。
いいの？多分あの人、僕の存在に驚いたんじゃ。
大丈夫。どうせ後で食堂に来るから説明はその時にするってことで。
Well then, if she said so. As an outsider, I had no choice but to rely on her. This was the part of the village I saw this morning, where the buildings were more densely packed. I didn't notice it back then, but it was actually kinda weird. Basically, it felt desolate. The wooden bungalows, in particular, were more or less overgrown, buried in the tall grass and other greenery. If this was all I saw of the village and someone told me it was abandoned, I'd have easily believed them. However, two of the buildings stood out. There was a hall right beyond the hill. I didn't want to do that. It wasn't that big, but it looked grand and well maintained. The other building was obviously the dining hall. It looked a bit dirty, but I could tell there were people inside from what I could tell. It was the most lively place in this poor excuse of for a community. Wow, harsh. Suddenly, the three students walked out, chatting about something.
知恵ねと夫妻しさん。
再度おはよう。ちょっと遅くない？
モッチーがバカなことばっか言って遅くなっちゃったんだもん。そうだ、僕が悪だ。味噌汁をよこせ。
This kid is high.
まあ早足なら間に合うでしょう。みんなしっかり勉強しといで。
Half dashing, the three ran up the path we came from.
みんな高校生なんだ。
そう、山をぐーっと登ったところに分校があるんだ。私も3年前まで通ってたな。
やたら不便だね。
それでもみんな あの寮に住める分優遇されてるんだけど。
I'm surprised there's a school close enough to walk there. Jimmy, that was my fact. Jimmy was entirely straight-faced. There wasn't even a hint of a smile.
気合を入れて入りましょう。
Yeah,
そう
let's
しまし
go.
ょ
Show shimashou.
気合入んない。
We laughed a little and passed the curtain.
いらっしゃい。あら、
She immediately hit us with that ara. We have a MILF, guys. And gals, if you like them. MILF alert, MILF alert. Ara alert. The inside was a cage, was an age as the outside, but it looked well maintained.
ちみちゃん、お客さん？
Oh my god, her voice. Ah, so soothing for my ears. The hostess-looking lady asked. Though somewhat aged and fatigued, she was definitely beautiful. Ah, great man, I agreed. There were two others besides her. One was a lady in her 70s or 80s. She was probably the one I saw this morning. The silhouette matched. The other one was a man who seemed a bit younger than her, probably in his late 60s. That's a man, alright. That's a manly man. Though they were just sitting there, there was a menacing aura about them.
紹介するね。久石春明さん。昨日の晩、皿長で迷ってたのを千恵美が保護しました。
Those reactions made me laugh. The actions were powerful. The lady gasped while the two others rose to their feet with alarm. The tension that was already there the moment I walked in reached its peak.
気にするのもわかるけど、これは単なる偶然です。あの子と違って、この人は素性が明らかだし、バイクで旧道に突っ込んで事故ったって非常に気の毒な事情もある。
Unlike that little girl, huh? So they have a history of a little girl just appearing there, huh? Okay, interesting. Keep notes, guys. We have to know it. Let me just look at a few things. Oh, Twitch viewers rose up. Hello, Twitch viewers. If you want a recap, just ask. I just realized I probably should make after every stream. I should do short recap videos to just link somewhere pinned in chat so people can watch it. Man, I love MILFs, Milk, India, Lobster, and fan art. Yeah. But yeah, guys, I would appreciate if you sometimes chatted from time to time in chat to let me know that people are still watching. I appreciate lurkers. You can lurk. I just need to know if people are still watching, because it would help me to figure out how long those streams should be. How long playing visual novels holds people attention. Yeah, thank you for your cooperation. Unlike that little girl, he knows exactly where. She said.
そんなわけで、我々としてはこの人がちゃんと帰れるように手伝ってあげるのがいいと千恵美は思います。どうですか、皆様方。
After saying all that, Jamie fell silent. The ball was in their court now.
まあ、それは大変。
Can she not speak? I have mommy issues. The way she speaks is just like, oh my god. Please hold me. Just hug me. I didn't want anything else. Just hug me and tell me I'm a good boy. I'm sorry for being horny on main, but kind of. I have to be true to myself. But now I had to get it out. Now it's got out. Horny, and now we're just taking the story seriously. The lady voiced a harmless opinion, careful not to upset the older people. It was pretty clear who was in charge. They were elders in more ways than one.
じいちゃんはなんで夜に皿長なんぞ言っとったかね。
虫の知らせかな。前の日にあんなことあったし眠れなかったから。
そいじゃあやっぱり読み人じゃないんかね。
Yomibito.
やめ、タイバ
From the conversation, it was pretty clear that something had happened before I arrived here. It was probably similar to what happened with me. She mentioned some little girl. Perhaps there was a child who wandered in here like I did. According to Jamie, the Saranaga Rapids were a place of significance around here. It was a place from which dead people came to life or whatever. Well, so this Tae must have been the lady that boy mentioned, and the Yomibito must have been a term for the dead who came from there. Apparently, the primary goal here was convincing these elders to approve helping me.
おい、どっから来た
The old man voice put my delayed mind back to on track.
はい、東京です。
いくつじゃ
年は24です。
地位より上じゃが
He chuckled. I immediately realized he was taking a jab at me for hiding behind a younger girl.
申し遅れました。房石春明です。芹沢さんにも紹介された通り、バイクで事故って迷い込みました。どうやら僕は、ここでは異分子のようで、変なことを言ったりしたりして、皆さんに迷惑かけたくないなと。それで、芹沢さんに紹介をお願いしたんですが、僕から改めてお願いします。すぐ出て行きますから、それまでは僕の存在を多めに見ていただけないかと。それと、僕を助けてくれた芹沢さんを責めないであげてください。
春明さん。
おそらく芹沢さんは、ここの常識を外れたところで僕を助けてくれたんだと思うんです。学生たちもみんな驚いてた。
Finally, a protagonist that can just speak and interact socially. After Doki Doki, my standards are low.
まあ。
My?
これでも大人です。自分の責任は自分で取りますし、皆さんにかけた迷惑は可能な限り償います。ですので、どうかお願いします。
About my head.
ちゃんとしとるタイバ
あたしゃすかんわね。そんなに髪茶色に染めてから。
Shit, I forgot I didn't look very presentable to more traditionalist people.
よそは皆こうよはよう返せばええ
ほいじゃあ好きにしなさいね。
I guess I got their half-hearted approval?
春秋春かうちの孫も春じゃ紛らわしい
あ、もしかして
そう、春ちゃんのおじいさんの牧島勘三さんよ。
どうも。
I didn't know what else to say, Haru-chan, and I weren't in the best of terms so far. Anyway, it seemed like we were past the difficult part.
皿長に突っ込んだか
いえ、コンビニで道を聞いた後、脇道に入って未舗装になったところで滑り落ちて横転しました。
で、皿長登ったかなぜ途中で引き返さねえ
He wasn't impressed by my choice of actions. It just hit me that I had no idea how much time passed between the crash and my meeting with Chiemi.
わしと匠で見てきちゃる
匠は他を見よるわよ。
タイバ追い出す思うて手伝わせ
カンちゃんはいっつもそうね。
So, ne? It's fun to listening different accents and way of speaking, especially, I don't know, older people in Japan, at least in fiction. have a certain way of speaking that is pretty fun to hear. I don't know what it is about it, but so ne.
ばあちゃん、おやさん、どうした？
That's a brick house. That's a manly man. Oh my god. We're joined by a new inhabitant.
ちえみ、こいつは？
たくみ兄ちゃん。
Ah, so he was the one we saw on the field. Oh, he sure looked big from up close. All that field work was good for his muscles, clearly. And from what I could tell, he was in his 30s. As Jamie introduced me and told him of my situation, I found out his name was Takumi Muro.
ああ、そいつは災難だったな。ああ、おやさん。
わしとお前で拾う。
だな。ばあちゃん、こいつ助けっからちょっと待っててな。もう農薬は巻き終わってるから、昼から草刈るわ。
匠は優しいね。
こんなもんなんでもないって。すぐ何もなかったようにできるからよ。
そうね。
Oh, ne? Nothing, eh?
お兄ちゃんや。
え、僕ですか？はい。
ここは安水言うてね。あんまりええ場所じゃないんよ。
Looks peaceful enough. It was the place that wasn't good, not my presence here.
あたしらもよそのもんが苦手だし、よそのもんも触れんがええ。じゃから、はよ出てお行き。
はい。そのつもりです。
話はついた感じか？
ありがとう、たくみ兄ちゃん。
I was beginning to understand how things work here. Although Kenzo Makishima's voice was the most powerful here, it was also important to get Teresa's approval. Kanzo-san was probably in charge of tackling the settlement's practical problems, while Teresa provided spiritual and moral direction. And when it was time to be civilized, Takumi-san came and convinced Teresa, acting as an intermediary. It looked like Takumi-san himself understood such subtitles, and Shemi seemed to rely on this side of him.
はい、ここらで一つどうぞ。
The lady brought some tea to the old folk, preferred timing.
おお、かおりさん。俺には飯頼むぜ。
So that was her name.
朝早くからお疲れ様でした。大盛りにしますからね。
By the way, I heard that older women in Japan, maybe not practice, but deliberately put on this voice and way of speaking. I don't know how much true that is. I remember, I think I learned that from one of my Japanese teachers. But, you know, maybe it's not the case for everyone, but that's why they always sound familiar, like more mature, and they elongate certain phrases, certain sounds, like ne. It's just popular for older women to sound like that, I guess. So that's a fun tip for you guys.
なーに、安水とばあちゃんとかおりさんのためならへでもねえよ。
まあ。
Oh, like filtering. These two should seem to get along. They look about the same age too.
さあ、お客さんもご飯にされます？
あ、いえ、いただいてきたので。
それじゃあお茶をどうぞ。おにぎりでもお出ししましょう。
Onigiri, that sounds good. Never had onigiri, but I know it's good because I can see it with my eyes. I could buy in the store. I saw it a few times, but I think it would not taste good here when in my void I live in.
ああ、それはそれは。
ごめんなさい。ちょっと急ぎで電話借りていいかな、かおりさん。
Welcome, Ballard. Good to see you. Oh?
それはいいけど、お茶くらいは。
ありがとう。でもほんと緊急だから。行こう、春明さん。
She tries to get us out of here before we eat and drink anything. Do I see it correctly? Yeah, it seemed that way. Like she wanted to get us out before we consume anything out from them.
うん。
Didn't look like I could say no. Okay, yeah, let's take a quick break, just a catch up. Are people watching aside from Palad? How are you guys? I just wonder if I should continue streaming or is this a good place to stop? I mean, I see the viewers that I have some, so I guess I will continue streaming. I, I'm just worried that maybe people are not interested. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I don't know how much people would be interested in a visual novel that is not hugely popular as Doki Doki Literature Club. So I don't know if people are watching, if you are guys interested in the story or anything like that. So tell me, be honest. I just had the worst experience. What happened? Why? You can get pizza if you answer my questions. You had to decide what to eat for your family. So what's the problem? You couldn't decide? Is there a save, by the way? Can we save? Yeah, we can save. I must say it's very, very hot. Or I mean, it's hard. Maybe not very, very hot, but it's like very. Air is dry and hot. Let's just say that. I feel like my skin is being coated with hot air. Ah, I understand. I understand this pain. So Anna would be willing to give me an answer to the question I asked. If you guys enjoyed the stream, if you guys are interested in the story so far. I mean, I will continue streaming for now, regardless of the answer. And for the future episodes as well, but because I already started. But I kinda want to get the vibe. Yeah, give them pebbles. You like visual novels? Do you like this visual novel so far? My own thoughts for so far are that yeah, it's a slow build up for sure, but I know how visual novels are, so I expected this kind of thing. But it builds so far characters. Hints are of that they are interesting. Like our main character seems like there's more to him. He didn't say what his work is. He like I don't know. He seems like he always goes straight to the worst answers in his head.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Palad. I understand what you're saying by patting me. Chiemi seems cool. Like, so far, hard to say anything, but I'm interested in how it develops. Okay, the novel is good. Okay, good to get some reassurance from you guys. I have something stuck, something hard in under my lower lip or within the teeth. I don't know what it is, but it hurts. Okay, I fished it out. Just a harder piece of food, I guess. Sparkle the magic on your rocks. Well, that's good. At least you're not eating them raw. Okay, let me look at a few things. Let's continue. We went up the nearby stairs to what seemed like a living space. At the end of the creaky hallway, there was a black rotary phone, a rarity in this day and age.
これがここ安水唯一の電話だから。
Seriously?
ちなみに携帯電話はどのキャリアも通じませんので。
そうなのか。でもどこに電話しろって？
ロードサービスとか保険とか、あと必要なら家族にも連絡。
Oh, that made sense. Hell, should have been the one to say that.
さっきも言ったけど、できるだけここを早く出られた方がいいから、使えるものは何でも使いましょう。
よそ者が歓迎されない場所だから？
そういうことです。
それ以上の詮索は無用と。
春秋さんはとっても察しがいい。それはいいことだと思う。ただ好奇心もとっても強く見える。
I'm really glad that our protagonist is smart because from very we get pieces of information and he already pieces together things that we piece together at the same rate. Like often when in games like that there is a lot of delay between when me piece together pieces of information and when the protagonist pieces together pieces of information, because they want us to figure those out, but it makes it for frustrating like reading when our protagonist is like, what's going on, what, when we already know. So I appreciate it.
バレたか。
バレますとも。でも正直あんまりいろいろ首突っ込まない方がいいかも。
どうせすぐに別れるんだし。
その通り。
なんだか寂しいな。
お、ちえみちゃんのメアド御書も
くれるならぜひ。
やった、これで男友達53人目。
Number 53 on the list. Wow. What a way to take our confidence down. I looked over because there was a noise in the cage of my bunny, and I looked over and he made a place where there is no what it's called, like made just clear access to the floor with nothing in between, and he just plopped down, like just fallen over on that. I think because it's too hot otherwise, but it looked funny. And Yoda. Okay.
テンションガタ落ちですわ。
We're still on to exchange our info. I could only hope that pink number 53 wasn't as big as a problem as it sounded.
それはともかく、個人的興味で言えば、何が問題になってて、どんな背景があるのか知りたいのだけど。
おすすめしないな。
なぜかな。
私が不愉快になるから。
あんまり故郷が好きじゃない？
うん。正直、嫌い。
Why not leave?
ここの人とは仲良さそうに見えるけど。
ああ、それは見えるだけですね。私相当の問題児だったんで、ご年配方とは結構気まずいよ。それに、パッと見はわからないいろんなしがらみもあるし。まあ、住人自体はそんなに嫌いじゃないけどね。
With that, I decided to stop prying about this place any further. I'd back away before she came to hate me.
あ、でも、一つだけ聞いていい？
いい度胸。何かな？
室匠さんのこと好きだったりする？
え？私が？
うん。
さすがにそれはないな。匠兄ちゃんかっこいいけど、ごつすぎるし、10以上年違うし、対象外です。
Don't say that. You should believe. There's nothing out of your strike zone. Be it people or girls, just reach for the stars.
それに、匠兄ちゃんは昔から香織さん一筋だし。
Look that
やっ
way.
ぱそうなんだ。結婚してるわけじゃないの？
うん。香織さん未亡人だから。
Well, that seemed complicated. That's right, Jamie had been acting a bit strange. Why had she dragged me away from the tea? It seemed so awkward too. Yeah, I noticed. Assuming she hadn't been jealous of Kaori-san and simply didn't want her to charm me, it would mean that she just hadn't wanted me to drink the tea. Why? Also, why did she feed me cup ramen if I could have just gotten food at the dining hall? Looking too deep into things was part of my nature, though things were never as bad as I assumed. Yeah. I went on to call my insurance company where I found out something. Apparently this village was hundreds of kilometers away from the nearest service station, meaning I was ineligible for the normal service and had to pay extra. And the extra was no small amount too. It actually went over 100,000 yen. Oh Jesus. Also, I could have avoided this if I had taken a more expensive plan. This was all my fault for not taking the bike salesman advice. Shit. I said I would consider it and hung up. Then I went back to the dining hall.
あれ、おじいさんたちは。
The customers had changed completely. Tae-san, Kenzo-san, and Takumi-san were gone too. Now, they were replaced by a caricature of a juvenile delinquent. Yeah, it is a caricature. He shouted at me. He seemed like he was trying too hard. He then slammed his bowl and chopstick on the table and stood up to intimidate me.
夫妻師春明です。
はあ？んだよ、舐めてんのか。
まあ、義継、初対面の方になんて口の利き方を。
うるせえババア。おい、チエネ、そいつ誰だよ。
バイクで事故った旅行者の春明さん。
Boy, was that introduction half-ass.
改めて、こちら織部香織さんと次男の義継くん。
Second son, eh?
安永くんが長男ね。
Yasunaga, okay.
安永くんって朝の彼？
そう、よく見たら似てるでしょ。
So, how old is this lady here? Like, okay, we assume in her 30s, but probably closer to 40s if she has two young boys. But maybe she started young. Walmart Naruto. Yeah. The Oribes. What an unpredictable family.
兄貴のこと言ってんじゃねえよ。うぜんだよ、ブスチェ。
そう言われてもな、モテちゃうからな、ちえ姉ちゃんは。
Jesus, that smile is devious. And weirdly, I don't know, Realistic is not the right word, but weirdly out of place. And from what it seemed, that convenience was well justified.
とっとと町へ戻っちまえバカ女バカバカバカ
Baka baka baka! What a child.
どうしよう春明さん、バカは否定できないかも。
なんとちえみちゃんはバカだったのか。よーしバカバカ。
ひどい。
I like their dynamic. I like their chemistry.
言ってやろうぜ吉嗣くん。バカバカ。
なんなんだよてめえ死ねバカにしてんじゃねえよ
What a stupid kid. Sundaraya. You're pretty conflicted, aren't you?
ごめんちえみちゃん。本心じゃないんだ。
おお、見事な連続手のひら返し。このちえみをあっけに取られさせるとはなかなかやるな春明。
ちえみちゃんには負けないぜ。
付き合ってんのかてめえら
Boy, did I wish. Same.
いい加減になさい義継。とうに遅刻でしょ。着替えて学校。
うるせえ行かねえよ
But I must say he is ripped. Like you didn't want to be like him. Oh no, you're saying that you're into her like him, I think. Mumbling something, the kid walked out of the dining hall, leaving his half-full bowl behind.
ごめんなさいね。お恥ずかしいところを。
Oh, don't worry, that was fun encounter.
根は素直ないい子なんですけどね。
Yeah, I could actually see that somewhat.
あ、ところで牧島さんとムロさんは
Yeah, same. We're boring, why?
あ、もうバイク拾いに出ましたよ。
まずい。追いかけないと。
うん、場所は分かってるみたいだったし大丈夫じゃない？
いや、一応ニュートラルにすれば押せるけどさ、操作わかるのかな。あとさすがに手伝うべきでしょ。作業が非効率になっちゃまずいし。
その程度なら手出しはやめときましょう。
なんで？
取りも直さず春明さんがよそ者だからです。長時間一緒に歩くのはちょっとおすすめできない。
This is what they would do to me.
問題になりそうな人たちには思えなかったけど。
そりゃあ二人とも大人だから。でも基本的にこのちえみほどオープンな人はここにはそうそういないからね。春明さんは平気かもだけど、一緒にいると向こうがストレス溜めるかもしれない。ただでさえ今普通じゃないから。
まあそうね。任せろと言われたら手出しをしない方がいいでしょうね。
そうなんですか。
ええ。安水には安水のやり方がある。男の人たちはそれにこだわるから。
Let me look something up. Where is it? Okay, never mind. I wanted to show a meme, but I cannot find it, so never mind. They've built up 2 towers out of tilt in the background. What? I don't know what you're talking about. But by the way, if there are new people coming up, just ask to recap and I will recap. Okay. I could somewhat understand that. A visitor should behave like one. Doing anything more would be uncalled for. It was an old-fashioned way of thinking, but this was an old-fashioned kind of place for sure.
じゃあ、どこで待とうか。
うちに戻って待ちましょう。
I expected as much, but it still made me curious. Normally you'd expect we would sit around and drink some tea right here, so why didn't we? As we wait, Chiemi, casually but uncomfortably, told me several things. First, I found out that the people here in Yoshimizu were a bit on edge right now. The reason for that was the fact that, excuse me, they had 3 whole outsiders here. I assumed this myself from what I knew so far, but apparently yesterday morning, a little girl was found straying around the Saranaga Rapids. They couldn't even find out her name, let alone who her parents were, so they didn't know how to handle her. For now, one of the inhabitants was looking after her. Like I'd been told, the more superstitious inhabitants, Taya-san mostly, saw her as a bad omen. I suggested leaving her to the police, but Chiemi didn't seem to think it was a good idea. It barely made sense to me, but if I were to believe her, things around here were such that not even the cops could do anything. Why 3? What 3? You have to elaborate what you're talking about, guys. I see sometimes your thoughts are out of context and I don't know what you mean. And apparently the remaining 2 outsiders were a pair of journalists gathering info for a magazine article. Wow, there's a lot of more outsiders than I thought it would be. Like the little girl and I did come here via the normal route, through Kami Fujiyoshi, and therefore weren't considered a bad omen or whatever. Even normal outsiders put the people here on edge. Through this talk, I also got some details about the area itself. Kasumizu was a settlement part of autonomous region called Fujiyoshi Village, or simply Fujiyoshi. It also been on the map I'd been shown at the store. Fujiyoshi was split into 2 areas, Yasumizu and Kami Fujiyoshi. They were separated by a mountain. Let me just study the map. Okay, here's the river we were in. Mountain Shinai. Mountain Road. Yasumizu. Kami Fujiyoshi. Pine Cliff. Where did we come from? Going to Kami Fujiyoshi took about an hour by foot, or 20 minutes by car on the winding path but paved road. Side note, the school that student went was in Kami Fujiyoshi. These 2 settlements had ties so strong they shared customs and culture. Chiemi said the local seasonal events were quite unconventional. I asked her to elaborate, but all she would say was that Yasumizu had special meaning to Fujiyoshi. She was making me more suspicious than I wanted to be. The conventional wasn't oh my god. This conversation wasn't nearly as exciting as the one we had last night. Well, at least I found out she didn't have a boyfriend right now. Very intriguing. It was nearly noon where Takumi-san came back, ending my waiting game. Side note, the door was fully open the entire time we waited. It was probably Chiemi's way of saying that nothing bad was happening there.
バイクってのはおめえもんだな、おやっさん。
去年取った獅子ほどじゃねえ。
Boro I got last year, wow. I really didn't expect them to just carry it here. Like, sure, there were 2 of them, but just how much mass did you have to haul a 200-kilogram piece of metal so easily? The unpaved road and the river made my sweet ride really damn muddy.
どうやってあの崖を上げたんです？
滑車があんだよ。たまに下から物を引き上げなきゃなんねえから。
おい匠。
と余計なこと言ってる場合じゃねえ。これ大丈夫なのか？だいぶ水に浸かっちまったみてえだけど。
どうかな。見てみます。
じゃああとは任すぜ。おやっさん、結構かかっちまったから研ぎ直しは明日まで待ってもらえっか。
I saw them off without thank you. Now then.
手伝おっか？
とりあえず一人でなんとかなるかやってみるよ。
The worst part of the repairs was right at the beginning. Jesus, there's a lot of reading, at least at the beginning of the game. I wanted to start by washing it, but that old lady, Tei Yamawaki was her full name, got really mad at me. She didn't want any Saranaga mod on the ground here because it was corrupt or something. But this plaza was the only place with easy access to water supply too, so I did my best and convinced her to let me wash it as close to the edge as possible. Once it was clean, I could start checking out what was wrong with it. I appreciate also the game don't waste time on boring discussions while like discussing, wow, can I wash my bag here or not? I know that many other visual novels would just waste your time with it, and here they just summarize it. I appreciate it. It actually looked pretty good, bent in places, sure, but the wash got rid of the bad sound the wheels made. The only problem was that both tires were flat, and it was a pretty big one.
道具とか持ってきてないの？普通バイク旅行とかって持ってくるもんじゃないの？
いざとなればロードサービス呼べばいいかな的なノリだったんで。
不準備。
いや返す言葉もない。正直やけくそで出発したから冷静でもなかったのかも。
Still wonder what's our protagonist did. Why did he even went on that ride? He talked something about losing someone in his life, like I think a partner, more like not death. I don't remember. At the beginning of the story I wasn't paying as much attention yet.
お？事情を聞いてほしそう。
彼女に振られたんだよ。
Yeah, okay.
なんか嘘っぽいな。
It wasn't.
それはともかく、パンク修理道具か。
So girlfriend left him and then immediately looking for a replacement. I don't know if to be impressed or I don't know, think it's pathetic that he feels the need to fill that hole.
野里屋敷ならあるかもしれないな。
野里屋敷？
安水で一番大きなお家。野里屋敷にないものは安水にはないよ。
なるほど。じゃあそこの人にお願いしに行こう。
実はあんまり会うのはおすすめできないんだけど、背に腹は変えられないか。
You don't recommend meeting anyone here.
また偉い人が登場？
その上ちょっと人格的にね。
And so we walked to the hill and arrived at the so-called Nosato Mansion. From what I could tell, it was located at the highest point in the settlement. And like Jimmy said, it was definitely a hell of a building. Yeah, Steve is for sure canon character. We're going to meet him at some point. It had an elegant western design, which should probably look even better if the place were better maintained. The earth was overgrown and the building itself was pretty much buried in ivy and small trees. If someone told me it was scarce, I'd instantly believe them. These people actually live here.
インターホン 生きてるかな。
She pressed a button next to the iron gate. Yasumizu was a quiet place, and so I could easily hear the bell ring inside.
もう一度押そうか？
やめとこ。何度も鳴らすと心象悪いから。
そんなに気難しい人なの？
そうね。気難しい。うん。いい表現だ。
I wasn't sure what she meant, but I opted to just wait rather than ask more questions. Soon enough, the person in question walked out of the mansion.
なんだ？誰だ？
He wasn't young, but he didn't look middle-aged either. He didn't looked high-strung, that much was for sure.
どうも、野里さん。芹沢です。
By the way, I would like to reach today a point in the story where something bad happens, a person dies or something along those lines. Something that probably hooks us into the story, so we look forward to the next episode.
知っている芹沢千恵美。そっちの青年は存じ上げないがね。
春明さん、こちら野里清之助さん。清之助さん、事故車の夫妻師春明さんです。
Not an introduction was the previous one yet.
なんだって？
I explained the situation again. He fought his brow when I mentioned the Saranaga, in addition to the reason we were here.
というわけで、早々にここから出ていくためにも、修理道具をお持ちだったら貸していただけないかと。
タイヤはチューブですかね。
Huh?
一応パッチもあるがね。チューブタイヤだったら素人には難しいんじゃないのか？できるならいいがね。なあ、チューブがバーストしてたら交換するしかないが、替えはさすがに持っておらんよ。譲る義理もないがね。
すみません。ちょっとそのあたりあんまり詳しくないまま乗っちゃったんで。
ちょっと話にならんね。おとなしく何十万だかの勉強料を払って拾ってもらうのをおすすめしよう。
I had to retort to that. I had no retort to that.
野里さん、多分ですけど、今の時期これ以上よその車がここに入るとか良くないんじゃないです？
はあ？君は間違いりだろう。未だにそんなもの信じてるのかね。
I need to go to sleep. I hope the stream goes nicely and the story becomes more intense. And as normal reminder, kiss your homies good night. Good night. I hope you're going. You had fun during the stream, and you probably should watch the VOD to the end if you want to watch the next one. But I'm going to try to make a recap video, a short one. But yeah, thank you. Go to sleep early, although maybe time zones.
私はともかくじいさまばあさま方がちょっとここ数日やたら外来者多いですし。
安水の連中の事情は知らんよ。私にどうしろと？え？油まみれになってパンク修理しろと？
いや、そこまでなくても藤吉の長者として困ってるマロードを助けるのにお力添えをいただけないかと。
困った時だけ長者を頼るのではなく、安水流のもてなしでもしたらどうかね。崖から突き落とすんだったか？ん？
Nice one. Whoa, what the hell?
いや、そんな言っちゃダメですよ。
Jamie's tone was slightly off. I could feel a bit of irritation behind her words.
本当、お恥ずかしい限りなんですが、なんとかしてみるんで、道具だけ貸してもらえませんか？
なんだと？
道具やらキットやら仮に入るだけで、作業は別のところでしますから、もちろんお代は払います。
まあ構わんがね。下手に物を破損させたりしたら弁償してもらうぞ。学生だか知らんがきっちりしてもらう。
Then he pointed me to the garage. and walked back to the mansion.
いやー、なんとかならない気がしてきた。チューブがバーストってなんだろ
How can you ride a motorcycle and don't know basics like that? I assume it's a basic information.
春明さんかっこ悪。
う。え、バイク乗りならスパナ一本で何でも修理してみせろと？
まあわかりませんけど、なんかそういうメカに強い感じ出したらグッとくる女は多いのでは。
じゃあ野里氏にはグッときたと？
いやー、どうせ知ったかぶりだから。あの人多分自分じゃ整備もできないよ。筋金入りの占い病炭だし。
え、じゃあなぜバイクの整備用品なんて？
野里屋敷は上富士吉にある野里家のもっと大きいお屋敷からいらないものを運んで置いとくような場所らしくてね。5、6年前に清之助さんが単車買ってもらったけど、ろくに乗りこなせなくてお蔵入りにしたとか聞いたことある。
Okay. Damn, that was the countersize for you. Couldn't hide your shame if your life depended on it. Anyway, I now knew that the man was the condescending pretension type. He still helped me out though, and it was true I didn't know how much about bike repairs, so I couldn't really get mad.
さ、そうと決まれば使えそうなものは全部持ち出してやろうぜ。
さながら山賊のごとく乗った。私邪魔じゃないかな。
いや、適当に話してないと気がめいるんで、相槌打ってくれるだけでも助かる。
The instructions that came with the repair kit told me that bike tires were a rather difficult type to repair. Apparently, I had to remove the tires, but where did I even start with that? Like, when you get a license, don't you have to have basic information how to change a tire? What the fuck? Well, as long as I didn't break it, nothing I did could be worse than having to call road service downhill, so I just tried taking it apart. But as I removed whatever units I could, I made the situation even worse than it was. Yeah, this really wasn't a job for an amateur.
お兄さん大変そうね。ちえみちゃんもよかったら食べてね。
Is Chiemi-chan going to stop us from eating?
ありがとうございます。
なんか大元になってんな。機械っつうのはやっぱダメだな。
まあ壊れさえしなきゃ文明の利器は便利だけどね。
日暮れまでに治りそうかい？
厳しいかも。最悪なんとかするから安心して。
What are you going to do? Take me down the cliff like that guy suggested? I really appreciate how she handled the visitors in my stead.
なあ知恵ね、バイクって免許簡単に取れんの？
Apparently very easy. You don't even have to know how the bike works.
どうだろう。原付なら簡単よ。私も持ってるし。
She still is.
中型大型の二輪は結構めんどいよ。普通免許取るのと同じ学科講習もあるし。バイク好きなのかい？
ああ、関係ねえだろ。ちなみにそれいくらすんだよ。
これは新車で80万くらいかな。
Oh, he's pretty rich.
たっけバカ、どうやって貯めんだよ。
Duck! He's fun to listen to. Just so stupid.
まあバイトとか頑張ったから。
Yeah, part-time jobs. He's avoiding saying what his job is.
そんな新車が事故ってなんて。春明さん。
I don't believe for a second that part-time jobs let him afford this bike. Unless he really like saved for a long time.
ちえみ先生、さっきから気にはなってたんだけど、差し入れ僕の。
Okay. So yeah, she tries to do. She probably stuffing herself so we don't get to eat. Interesting.
先生思わず全部食べちゃった。春明さん気の毒。
She's playing dumb, but she did it on purpose. For sure. I do want sympathy from the one responsible. As I told her off for not leaving me any food, I somehow removed the tiles. I could only hope I'd be able to fix this up. Had this thing for less than a month, but the trouble it was putting me through made it feel somewhat dear to me. I wanted to fire it up again and make it go as fast as it could. Suddenly, I heard an engine. It felt like it was mocking me. Hold on, an engine? Here? I stopped working and turned around to see an unfamiliar van drive into the plaza. Barring the classic-looking piece of junk in Nosato garage, this was the first time I'd seen a car here. As far as I knew, no one living here actually owned a running car, so... journalist. I knew it. Once the van stopped, a lady stepped out of it. Oh, she's pretty.
今日もご迷惑をおかけします。これまで見ないお方ね。
どうも。自己春明です。
春明、バックラッシュ。
そこまで自虐的になんなくても。
Crap, that was not time for an inside joke. I couldn't introduce myself properly.
ちょっと、その辺で事故りましてね。ここに寄せてもらってます。
なるほど、学生さんね。事故は災難だったわね。ちなみに私はこういうものです。
No one gave me her business card. Hisako Mamiya, a freelance writer. Her pen name was Kyuko House.
ちなみに読んだことない？宝生9個の記事。
すみません。
だよね。まだまだマイナーだし、そもそも記事載った雑誌、主婦向けとシニア向けだし。
それは難易度高いな。ちなみに何を書いておられるんです？
フードレビュー、変わった食品専門のね。
あれですか？世界で一番臭い缶詰とか、そういう。
そうそう。まあシュールなんて今更ネタになんないから、国内に絞ってマイナーな珍味を探し歩いてるわけ。そんなわけで郷里に変わった料理があるとか情報があったらぜひちょうだい。
ラボの後輩がキャンパス内で取ったキノコで豚汁作ったら集団幻覚が起きまして。
We had mask hallucinations. That seems like fun. Something from the lab.
思いつきと毒物は却下ね。
As we chatted, I became curious.
そういえば取材の方はお二人とか。
ええ、もう一人いるわ。ちょっと降りてくるのに時間が。あ、来た来た。
I looked at the van and became completely awestruck. It felt like the van had shed its skin or something. That made no sense, but seriously, how did this fit in there? Oh my, that's mean. That's a uncle-looking guy. He was gargantuan. Takumi-san was something, but this man was on the level of a foreign heavyweight wrestler. Though, unlike Takumi-san, this man was primarily fat rather than muscle. As he walked out of the driver's seat, the van shook widely.
写真家の橋本雄大さんよ。こちらは私よりもっとずっと有名。オールラウンドでご活躍中で、写真はきっと気づかないうちに何枚か目にしてるはずよ。
Probably. I didn't know much about photography, but I was definitely convinced. There was a certain kind of authority or gravity around him. Haha! I got it. He wasn't saying a word, and I couldn't tell what he was thinking.
どうもはじめまして。臭いし春明です。
Was he then alive? After a strange pause, he slowly bowed like the moving mountain he was, and left me with a voice like a titan. He seemed somewhat difficult to interact with.
今日で最終日でしたっけ？ええ、オリレさんが秘蔵の獅子慣れを開けてくださるってことなので。
I have a feeling this is not the last day they are here.
よその人に耐えられるかな。
まあ胃薬も持ってきてるから大丈夫でしょ。
And so Mamiyashi and Hashimoto-shi walked off to the dining hall. Why he used she? My Japanese, I think, is not good enough to understand the nuance of using she in this situation, instead of san. Who'd have thought that such a beauty was a delicacy hunter? I had to admit that cap was kind of charming. As intrigued as it was, I couldn't waste any more time. I had to fix my back already. Whoa! This guy looks like a zombie. A lot of things had surprised me here in Yasumizu, but nothing as much as this.
もしもし
No reaction. At first glance, he looked like a poor man too senile to think and perceive properly.
何かご用ですか
I made sure to speak as clear as possible. It didn't look like he understood. I figured it was best to just ignore him and resume the repairs, but I looked at him again. He was still just standing there, like his soul and brain had left his body. A vacant stare, loud eyes, half-open mouth covered in saliva. He spoke again.
何が来るんです
What? His voice was too hoarse to make it out.
何ですって
I placed my hand against my ear. He finally understood what I wanted and prepared to whisper something. I brought my ear closer and...
狼が来るぞ
Oh. The sudden shout caught me completely off guard and made me fall to the ground. He looked down at me, laughing, clapped and opened his half-toothless mouth into a wide smile.
狼が来るぞ狼が来るぞ
So, this is a child that screamed wolf when they get older and never stopped. Zaza, what is Zaza? He bent his body in a weird way, laughed like he was convulsing, turned around, and just left.
春明さん。遅かったか。
Jamie had joined the journalist and only just came back.
何が遅かったと
おじいちゃん、知らない人にはああやっていたずらするんだよ。
え、あれ、ちえみちゃんの
いやいや、本名は知らないんだ。昔から休みずにいるおじいちゃんだけど、昔からあんな感じ。
ボケてるというか、ちょっとおかしいのか、あの人。
うん。みんな狼じじいって呼んでるけどね。
The old man who cried wolf. Yeah, the boy who cried wolf became old man, like I said. It's a drag, alright. What does the drag do? I don't know it. Named after the boy who cried wolf, I assume. Doesn't work as well though.
狼ね
As far as I knew, there were no wild wolves in Japan. There used to be, but after the last sighting in either the Meiji or Showa era, they've been considered extinct here. Oh, but I've seen reports that of recent sightings, but they are treated more like a cryptid now. The wolves in Japan. Addiction, okay. Until the Japan image of wolves came from Western fairy tales and the like, it wasn't linked to anything in our culture or life. Even The Boy Who Cried Wolf was a Western tale, yeah. Did his brand of insanity make him repeat the tale or something? A bit weirded out by the circumstances, I went back to repairing my bike. After a bit more time, I somehow took off the rubber from the tires and removed the tubes. Both tires were pierced by some really rusty nails. Fuck, this kind of stuff only happened at the worst of times. So there were nails in the forest? That sounds more malicious. Then I applied the patches and filled them with air using a manual pump. I read the tubes, there were no bubbles, meaning no air was leaving them. Things were looking good. After the high schoolers came back from school and passed by, no one else stopped to talk. Shimi was looking a bit bored now.
なんとかなりそうかも。
え、嘘。あんなにダメっぽかったのに。
悪かったね。まあ、これを組み立て直すって大仕事が残ってるけど。
それが終わったら出発できそう？
そうだね。長居するとまずそうなのはよくわかったし。
そう、よかった。
She didn't seem to care that much. Guess I had no chance with her, huh?
もう何時間も缶を詰めっぱなしでしょ？大丈夫？疲れてない？
Yeah, I haven't ate anything.
昼食休憩の機会が誰かさんに奪われたこともあって。
My exact thoughts. I don't like how much I think like the protagonist. I appreciate the game not making him stupid. But the fact that we're thinking exactly the same things weirds me out because I feel like he's a weirdo. And we don't know in what way yet, but I feel like it's going to be revealed to us something fucked up about him. So I don't know how to feel about being on the same wavelength as him.
代わりにクラッカーをあげたじゃないですか。
Like that was enough to save a guy in his mid-20s.
まあ、僕は大丈夫。もう一頑張りする。君ももう行っていいよ。大体の人とは顔合わせしたような気がするし。
多分あと2人会ってない人がいるかな。
Really? Well, there was no real need to, right?
もうちょっといるよ。どうせ暇だから帰ってきたわけだし、することもないし。
52人の男友達と遊ぶ選択肢はなかったの？
52 guy friends.
全言撤回。暇したいから帰ってきたの。町暮らしは面倒も多くて、52人からのメール攻めとかさ。
そっか。
ごめん、52人は嘘。
なんでそんな嘘を？
春明さんに対する牽制？
Oof. That's good, that's good. That means we have a chance. How would she pull a tactic like that only to reveal her hand?
ねえ、彼女に振られたって本当？
And now she asked me that.
本当だって。
そっか。
After that relentless assault, it wouldn't be fair unless I played my own card.
なんならこれ、乗っていく？
え、これって2人乗りなんだ。
もちろん。一応タンデム用のヘルメットも吊るしてきてるし、まだ乾いてないけど。僕はこのままここを出ていくから、その便でちえみちゃんも外に出るのが都合良ければってことになるけど、ついでにロングツーリングしてみる？時間さえあればどこへだって行くよ。
Flexible, open to fine-tuning, white and charming. This was a good date with date invitation, if I said so myself.
いいね、素敵。都合、問題ないよ。
Oh?
じゃあ、荷物まとめてくるね。
She said yes. And that wink is... It does fix to me. Jamie smiled and turned around to head to her place. She then looked back at me and...
急いだ方がいいよ。ちえみさんの気が変わらないうちにね。
はいはい、もちろん。
Well, that made me motivated. This was one tiring trip, but at least I met someone good along the way. I just forget everything I didn't want to remember while on the road with her. I could only hope that clever girl and I would eventually grow closer. With that alternate motive in mind, I resumed rebuilding the bike. After several failed attempts, I was finally making some good progress putting the bike back together. Afternoon had passed and it was almost evening. At the rate I was going, I'd definitely be working while it was dark. Would that even be possible? It might be way past midnight by that time I was done. Jamie might dump me for that. Man, life was hard. The plaza I'd worked in was now totally empty. There was no one around me. All I could hear was the wind, the frogs, and the tools in my hand. It was desolate, to say the least. I suddenly felt really weak. It made me keenly aware of being in a place I didn't belong, and that I was preparing to escape. It was an oppressive atmosphere, like the bars of a cage were slowly swinging shut. What's this, Haruaki? Think you're gonna get attacked or something? I tried to laugh it off, but it didn't work as I became more conscious of my surroundings. I began to hear things I hadn't noticed before. I heard a voice. Someone was singing. It was an inarticulate little girl's voice. I stopped my work. Before I knew it, I'd put my tools down and gone looking for the source. Was I that starved for human presence? Or did the malaise make me feel like I was in danger? What is malaise? I don't know this word. But I get the meaning, kind of. I walked down the hill to where the song came from, passing the tall grass. I arrived. Well, that looks intimidating. Especially the background, like we're in another world. It was a strange sight. The field was covered in tall grass. There were countless rocks peeking out of it. Unlike the boulders over Yosemite, these were only up to my waist. They looked like the gravestones. The field extended into the dusky western sky before the ending at a cliff. It was the lowest spot in Yosemite, the border to Saranaga. There was a large pine right at the edge. The evening sun, the stones, and the pine's shadow gave the field a strange aura. A little girl was running through it. Her steps were awkward. At this moment, this space was alien. I felt like I was looking at a Giorgio de Chirico painting. The place felt like I didn't belong to this world. I'm sorry for butchering the name. Suddenly, I came to understand that this place was special. It was a sacred, mystical ground where no outsiders were welcome. The girl fell. So he knows. He knows he shouldn't be here, and yet he doesn't leave. I ran with no hesitation the little girl. What the fuck is this? What's with the arrows? Help up. Half crying little girl. Muddy clothes. New grace on band-aid covered knee caps. What? I console little girl. Push away, run. Should I choose? Someone. Appeals girl wants me. Huh? What's going on?
夕霧立てば宴の支度
Girl with incomprehensible phrase. Hide behind little girl ear. Fear and hostility eyes.
逃げて
Girl hug. Little girl warn? Me?
間に合わないでしょでも逃げて
I will. I think it represents scattered thoughts of our protagonist here. At least I will take it as such for now. Me girl behind. Me girl behind mist. Mist. Me girl behind mist. 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 Me girl behind mist. Mist. Me. Turn around. Run. Where? In a daze, I came back to the plaza. Suddenly, Chiemi shook me, bringing me back to my senses.
どこ行ってたの
ごめん。すぐ作業に戻るから。
何言ってるのもうダメ間に合わない 春明さんも隠れて。
I couldn't understand what she was getting at.
何やってんだチエミ。とっとと部屋に戻れ。
でも春明さんが。
ほっとけそんなよそ者。俺はおやっさんと他の連中んち回るから絶対戻れよチエミ。
I couldn't understand. What were these two doing? What scared them so much? I didn't take long for me to find out. I looked down the hill from Saranaga beyond the field I'd just been in came a rising haze. It was so dense you could easily call it mist. It moved strangely like a living creature as it flowed into the plaza.
春明さんこっち。
Jamie pulled me by the hand.
何がなんだか頭がなんだ頭が重いな。
今は我慢して。どこか鍵のかかるところに一人で入るの。出ないと死んじゃう。
どういうことなの？理由を。
Haruaki doesn't look so good.
お願い春明さん、今だけは言うことを聞いて。
Albeit hesitantly, I did as she said. We ran up the hill and crossed a rice-filled path until made it into a simple outhouse.
ここならなんとか。
本当何事なんだ？確かにすごい霧だけど、そんな慌てることじゃ。
いい春明さん、詳しく説明してる時間はない。だからお願いだから今から言うことを絶対に守って。
はい、よろしくお願いします。
今から一晩ここに入って鍵をかけて、絶対に物音一つ立てないで。
My mind was pretty clear by this point, so much so that I began to wonder why it was clouded until now. Because of that, I could easily understand exactly what Jamie just said, despite how weird it was. I could also see she was really desperate. We have a lot more keys to unlock other routes. Okay, I think we're pretty much locked into one route so far until we find more keys. Keys are information keys, I think.
またとんでもない指示が来たもんだ。
春明さん、
言っとくけど相当な無茶ぶりだからね。ノルマクリアの暁には相当な見返りと説明を要求するから。
うん、いいよ、全部話す。だから今晩を生き延びて。
はい。The words, the teary smile, none of it looked fake.
じゃあね。君も急ぐんでしょ？
うん。それじゃ、春明さん。
何？
明日言うから。
She's going to be dead tomorrow. Or missing. She's not going to tell us. Or something changes that she, I don't know. She will act weirdly and won't tell us, and after all. That's my prediction. Relieving me one hell of a homework assignment, Jamie ran off. The plaza was covered in the mist by now. I could see it rising over the fields too. So there's a weird mist as well in this whole puzzle. By the way, mist reminds me of Forbidden Lands. It's a tabletop RPG I play. And there's red mist in the setting that once covered the whole land of Ravenland, and that made people isolated, but it disappeared mostly from the world, and now the world opens up, but the mist sometimes appears again like a normal mist, like sweeping. So yeah, I thought I'd mention it because through that mist, demons and creatures travel and kill people. And also make you feel nostalgic. It's kind of like right now our protagonist was feeling. Kind of out of your game. So, interesting similarities. I could see it rising to take over the fields too. Anyway. A promise was a promise. 10 minutes later, I began to wonder what I was doing. Was I really supposed to spend the night here? This outhouse wasn't like a prefab you'd find in construction sites. It was just a shack built by hand. It merely happened to have a toilet on it installed. It was just Japanese style, so I couldn't even sit down. All I could do was stand. Another problem. It was the type of toilet that periodically had to be pumped empty, so the smell was really bad. Sure, there was a cover on the toilet and the unit, but without any kind of air freshener anywhere. The smell of ammonia could only do so much. The only good thing about being here was that if I had to go to the toilet, well, mission complete. But what of it? Again, was I really supposed to spend the night here? The question quickly made me realize how stupid this was, and I began making assumptions to make this easier for myself. Was I being pranked, or was everyone here just crazy? Hell, that mist had already filled the surroundings, and there was no way that the shabby outhouse protected me from it. The air here already felt mist and damp. The temperature here was low, so I could still bear it somewhat, but staying here all night could make me all wet. Again, I wasn't safe from the mist here. They considered I'd probably be better off sleeping in the grass outside than staying here. The reasonable part of my mind urged me to stop playing along with these cakes. However,
今から一晩ここに入って鍵をかけて絶対に物音一つ立てないで。うん、いいよ。全部話す。だから今晩を生き延びて。
my sense of duty made it hard for me to break the promise I'd made to her. Actually, that wasn't quite true. I was more intrigued by the prospect of learning more about this place. His morbid curiosity. Anyway, I took the time to compile what I'd found out today. This was the Yosemite settlement, a special port of Yuji-Uroshi. It was situated right next to Saranaga Rapids. The people living here were Jamie Serizawa, Yasunaga Oribe, his family Kaori Oribe and Yoshitsugu Oribe, Chikamochi Kamoshida, Haru Makishima, her granddad Kanza Makishima, Toe Yamawaki, Takumi Muro, Kiyonosuke Nasta. It seemed like he was from Komi Fuji. Kami Fujiyoshi, the place on the other side of the mountain, but for some reason he lived here now. And finally, the old man who cried wolf. There were the 11 people I'd met, and Jamie said I had 2 more left. That could only mean the 2 I'd met by that pine were the ones. A little girl, she was probably the child that stayed into Saranaga yesterday morning. Straight into Saranaga yesterday morning. And then there was the fantastical looking white-haired woman clad in strange clothing. She was probably the one I'd seen in the morning. The fact I'd seen her twice made it likely that she was indeed real, but with how mysterious this place was, I couldn't rule out possibility that she was an illusion. According to Chiemi, the little girl was being looked after by someone in the village. So I could only assume that the white-haired woman was the one. Yeah, so everything that I also pieced together and I was talking about, but it's nice that we're just recapping everything. If I counted the little girl, it would mean that Yasumizu had 13 inhabitants. Then there were 2 journalists, Hisaoko Yamamamiya and Yudai Hashimoto. Add me to that and you had a total of 3 outsiders, but I'd put that aside for now. Anyway, time for an assessment. Yesterday morning, a little girl strayed into Saranaga. To make it worse, no one, not even herself, knew anything about her. She instantly got branded as an omen. The next day, Chemi, who was in Saranaga for some reason, found me there. They recognized me as a proper lost person, but since I came through Saranaga, I was also branded as ill omen. From what Kiyonosuke Satashi said, it was safe to assume that it was used to be customary to throw people like us into Saranaga. And then there was the mist. The girl said something mysterious, prepare for the feast when the evening mist arrived. It could only assume it was related to the same superstitions. After all, the mist came from Saranaga itself. It and the river seemed to be central to the local custom and ideas. With that in mind, how was it dangerous? What was gonna happen now? Yomi Buto, as in people from Yomi, the ancient Japanese land of the dead? Dead people came back through Saranaga, and they were corrupted. Well, that gave room for some wild ideas. Was there some sort of pantheon in Saranaga that rose up with the mists? Did it turn people into zombies? Was I about to be part of Japanese Resident Evil? Wait, that was already Japanese, yeah. What if you had a 10% chance to be inflicted by the mist, but a 100% chance to be infected by another person? That explains why everyone had to isolate themselves like this. If I had become a zombie, I probably wouldn't have the mind to unlock the door. So basically, by locking myself here, I was quarantining myself. I hadn't put all that much thought into that, but it seemed like a good story. Yeah, so overall, most of what Barry thought I had, cool to that he pieced it together, but obviously there are also the wolf aspects, so maybe some people turn into wolves, werewolves when there are there's mist coming. What do you guys think? Sure, stuff like that boulders and the wolves didn't fit anywhere into my idea. It was still interesting. Then again, I knew it was Hicksville and Albert would a superstition that science could explain so easily really survive the modern world. It seems so weird.
今から一晩ここに入って鍵をかけて絶対に物音一つ立てないで。
To be frank, the reason why I spent so much time on these delusions was because I was scared of things I didn't know or understand. In the past, people used to attribute stuff like natural phenomena and diseases to gods, devils, yokai, and then do nothing but fear them. They were scared of this manifestation of monsters and whatnot, but the other hand, it was better than not seeing or not knowing what they really were. The fact that you could die to things you couldn't see or understand made life really unreasonable and unfair. That was why it was very logical to give things names and mental images in order to recognize and memorize them. My fear of things I didn't know was the same, except I wasn't satisfied with just labels or hypotheses. Hypothesis. I don't know how to say it. I need to reach the truth. That aside, what I was feeling right now wasn't fear of the unknown. It was a realistic, practical fear of something that could endanger my life.
今から一晩ここ
How many times will we hear that?
絶対に物音一つ立てないで。
That meant that outside lurked something dangerous that could hear sounds. Perhaps it was the so-called dead that rose up from the river. Or maybe, assuming I was right with my Suranaga sickness story, it was people who came out and beat the shit out of all the diseased who didn't follow the rules. The wolf is coming. Maybe the wolf was the title given to the killer. Yeah, perhaps, after I the werewolf again. Suddenly I heard a scream in the distance. Go and take a look. We probably shouldn't. But we can't because we don't have keys. So it's not for this road. But starts going down. I'm streaming now for close to 4 hours. But mostly I'm getting lightheaded. It's getting really hot in my room. I think it's because my PC, I don't know. I'm getting hot at least. I'm getting lightheaded and hungry. And it's getting harder to read for me. So I'm going to be ending the stream right now on the screen hunger. But thank you everyone for coming today. Thank you very much. Why? For giving me Twitch gifted subscriptions 10 at that. It means a lot. Really means a lot. I cannot even overstate how it means to me. The level, the support, the gesture just means a lot, but just, you know, having money means a lot too, because I want to, you know, I would love nothing more but to make it my job. So, one step at a time, or 10, in this case, means a lot. Okay, but guys, if anyone is still here and listening, how did you like it? How did you like the game? How did you like the stream? How did you like the story? And also, if there are guys in chat, people in chat that would like a story recap, just ask, I will give it to you. But before the next stream, I'm going to try to prepare a short recap video, like 1 minute long, maybe two, and I will just pin it in chat, so new people coming in will roughly know what's going on. And yeah, that's it. I think people are lurking right now, which is fine, but yeah. I'm going to end the stream right now. Again, thank you everyone, and bye bye. I really feel lightheaded right now. Mwah. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Let me just save. Okay. Bye bye. Mwah.